guys.
Hello? Hello guys, do you hear me?
Yeah. I just get a good look.
Yeah, thanks mate. Yeah, first time. Well, second time. But,
ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for the Project Cars 2 GT3 League here, our usual Saturday afternoon / evening event that we have going on throughout our sim racing season. I'm delighted to be joined tonight by my very good friend Sergey Zeynalov for the Tier 2 event. Sergey, welcome to the box. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Yeah, hello India, I'm doing really well and hope to see a good race tonight. It's a start of another GT3 season here in Project Cars 2 and a lot of new guys here. So hope to see good battles for positions and clean battles.
Yeah, definitely so. It's usually some of the best action that we see in these GT3s. A slightly depleted field for this Tier 2 race, but still 8 drivers out there who I'm sure are definitely going to be very keen to put these through their paces and get the best possible results that they can. One man who's out there at the moment, Green Pies, the man who's been fighting it out in the Formula 1 Championship since the beginning of the season over on F1 2020 on a Friday night league, but last night had a bit of a disaster, disconnected from the race, Brazil, which has put him on the back foot very, very significantly going into the final race of the season next week at Abu Dhabi. So he was disappointed with that, but he's out here in GT3s tonight looking to do the best that he can, driving in that number 31 Ferrari, switching it up a little bit from the Bentley which he was driving towards the back end of last season, Sergey. So it's good to see that Green Pies is switching the car up and going for a car that's pretty suited to this type of track.
I think that he chosen this car, he chosen Ferrari because maybe it's better for his type of driving. So maybe he loved this car more than Bentley. I think that Bentley is really hard to drive because it's a very big car and it's very hard to be consistent on this car. So I think that Ferrari is a good car for him and maybe he will do better in this season than in the previous one.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think it's definitely going to be his opportunity to show what he can do. Just got a message here from Unorthodox. I think he might want to race in GT3s tonight in the Tier 2s.
Maybe you can send him an invite. Yeah, and we can see the first penalty here. The Wall received this penalty. The Wall, the man who is supporting Motive Racing in each race, who is a veteran, and now he's trying to drive here in Project Cars 2. I had a dialogue between me and him, and he said that it's really fun for him to drive in these Project Cars. So maybe we'll see some fun race tonight from him. And we can see that the first times here, Nando is now on provisional pole with 129.3 and only 61 milliseconds behind his Green Pies. Very good laps from these guys. And then Invar Mada, I think it's a new guy here in Motive Racing, but now he's down on 4 seconds till the leader. Mitowski's on P3, currently 2 seconds off. Not so good times from these guys, but maybe they'll do something here. Then DJPhilgreen, I'm sorry for this pronunciation. He's now on P6, 11 seconds off, and Hermas Garcia is on P6 now, 8 seconds off. Dois Monkey has done a good job and a good lap time. He's in the 29s, 129.9. Good job. Maybe he'll even improve this time. And only one man who will set the time, who don't have a time now. It's the Wall. Let's watch what he will do here. He's just exiting the last corner on his lap. Oh, and Ivan Mado disconnected.
Hopefully he gets back in, yeah, but the Wall comes over and does 132.2, so only just under 3 seconds off the ultimate pace being set by Nando. Nando's a familiar face here at Motive Racing. Used to race regularly in our Tier 1s for the GT3. He's a few seasons back, but actually picked himself up I believe a ban from the championship for exceeding the total number of points in which you can exceed during a season, which was a little bit harsh on Nando because, to be fair, he was a good racer, generally had some good battles out on the track, and I felt desperately sorry for him in that situation, because he's a clean racer on the most part. I think he had a few unfortunate incidents in the season. He got very, very unlucky, and it was towards the back end of the season he just exceeded the points total, which actually got him removed from the championship. So very unlucky there in that scenario. But he's back. He's returned to motive racing, ready to try and right the wrongs and prove that we made the wrong decision there. So it's good to have him out on track, and currently sat provisionally on the front row alongside Metalski. Metalski also another familiar face here at Motive, because Metalski was the GTE champion for Tier 2s back in Season 2 here at Motive Racing about a year ago now. He was finished top of the Tier 2s for the GTEs back when we used to run GTEs on Project Cars 2. So he's definitely a man who goes well in these types of cars, the GT cars on PC2, which bodes well for this season. Obviously, he'll be looking to try and pick another Tier 2 crown and get himself up into the top league, because I remember when he did take that Tier 2 crown a few seasons ago for the GTEs, he wasn't actually able to take his spot in the top league the next season. There was some kind of complications which didn't allow him to take part. So hopefully this time around, if he is able to have a good season in these GT3s and Tier 2, he'll be able to take his spot in Tier 1 next season. But still a long way to go, and obviously he's got to perform throughout the course of this season if he is going to take that spot, and we'll have to see whether or not he's going to be able to do that as he comes over the line, a tenth of a second down on his personal best on that particular lap.
Yeah, it was a good lap, good first two sectors, but he lost about 0.2 of a second in the last sector. Maybe he made a mistake. It's a very hard sector, I think, to happen, and it's really hard to brake, and it's really hard to take the car into the corner. So maybe we will see some problems. Maybe someone will struggle in this section of the track. In these two happens, maybe someone won't brake when it is needed, and maybe we'll see some problems and mistakes. So I think that Varmada is now back. Yeah, it's all good. So Nando just made a great lap, 1:29.0. Very good lap, and he 1/10 of a second better than Mitowski, but I think, Mitowski going really fast. He's now about 4/10 better than he was in these two sectors, and he's now in the third sector. Let's watch what he'll do. Oh, and then Unorthodox is in the lobby, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, Dan's going to be racing the Tier 2s tonight. Good to see
and he made a mistake.
Oh, yeah, Mitowski's bit of a double take there coming to the last turn. Comes over the line and he's way down on his personal best there, 4/10 off of his previous best time. Also, we got Matahimovic jumping in the session to race tonight for these GT3 Tier 2s. Also, one of our racers in the Formula 1 League on a Friday night, running high in the Racing Point for the F1s, and he's going to be taking part tonight. Also, owner of Simpay Motorsport is Matahimovic, does a great job on commentaries on our touring cars on a Sunday night as well, as you see green pies there going straight on at the Melbourne hairpin and into the barriers. RMS Garcia currently sat in P5 at the moment. He's 1.8 seconds off of the fastest time being set by Nando. I don't want to put my neck on the line here, but I have a hunch that RMS Garcia may be the same person as Mate Garcia. I'm not 100%. It's just an inkling. I don't know why, but we'll probably find that out later on. He comes over the line though, and he's unable to go quicker on that particular lap, but he'll get more chances in this session. Still over 5 minutes left to go, and only half a second separating the top four drivers here in this session, so it is incredibly close at the top of the leaderboard. And DeHuisRocker, also one of the newcomers to Motive, currently sat in 4th place there, so he's not too far off the top times. And I know this man is very, very quick in the GTEs as well. I've seen him on public lobbies on Project Cars 2. He definitely gets it hooked up in the GTE cars. GT3 is not too dissimilar. As we see Denshi Denisi coming over the line, what can he do? He does a time that's good enough for 7th place so far. Matahimovic in the session, 10 cars out on the track. So little by little, we're getting a slightly more packed out field here for these Tier 2s. But at the moment, it's Nando showing the way. Our former Tier 1 racer here for the GT3s, ahead of Mitowski and Green Pies. Invermada comes over the line, goes P5. Not too far off also, only 1.3 seconds off of their fastest time. As we see a Porsche coming out of the pits, which must be unorthodox, I would imagine. There he is, yes, indeed. In fact, hold on. Yeah, he is in the Porsche.
And Matthew has got one place penalty on the start. So we have 2 one-place penalties tonight.
I would imagine that might be for overstepping the pit exit line, possibly. But
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, not the ideal situation at all there for Matahimovic. We see Duismonks coming up towards the line. What can he do here on this latest lap? He can't improve at the moment. Stays in P4, half a second off the
someone just flying out of the pit lane.
Yeah, cutting it fine a little bit there, wasn't he? As he came out onto the track from the pits. Nando still set out on provisional pole position at the moment, though, ahead of Matowski. What can the wall do as he's coming out of the last corner? He's currently 2.6 seconds off. Can he get a little bit closer to the top time? Not on that lap, he can't.
Maybe no. He made improvements and he goes.
Matowski goes P1, Sergey.
Yeah, great lap from him. He's into 1:28. Good job.
Yeah, first man into the 1:28 tonight. So Matowski, as we know, he's got the pedigree, former Tier 2 GT champion here at Motive. As we see him coming up towards the line, can't improve on that lap, 1/10 of a second off of his personal best. Green Pie's still out there, not too far off the top time, but the time's coming in thick and fast now. And to be fair, the top 8 separated by less than 3 seconds, so it's reasonably close. And we know that Matahimovic and Unorthodox are both more than capable of mixing it in at the top of the leaderboard. Once they get their laps in, they'll get a couple of laps before the end of this session, you'd imagine. Denshi off onto the grass there, coming through Sector 1 out of the crane of curves. Green Pie's coming into the Melbourne hairpin. Let's see what Nando can do here. Can he regain top spot here? He'll be disappointed to have lost that to Matowski. An outlap by the looks of it. Got Green Pie's coming through the final corner, as didn't look like Duismonks was able to improve on that lap. Here's Green Pie's. What can he do? Across the line he goes. P1 there. Wow, look at that, and bins it over the line as he tests the top time. Brilliant lap there from Green Pies, a 1:28.6. He was saying in the general chat section earlier he fancies his chances in these GT3s this season. He reckons that he's got some pace in that Ferrari, and he has well and truly shown that so far. The wall's coming in towards the Melbourne hairpin now. But what can these guys do? Now the Green Pies has just set the bar just a little bit higher, and there's now all of a sudden almost a second separating the top 4. There was about half a second between those 4 drivers before, but Green Pies has now just raised that bar a little bit. The walk out the last turn. What can he do here? He's bringing it into the pits, so he obviously isn't on a good lap. He doesn't think he can improve on that one. Somebody's coming over the line in a Porsche. I think that was Dan crossing the line. No, it wasn't. It was somebody else, but Dan comes over. P1 for Dan.
Yeah, another great lap.
Yeah, they're really coming in now, aren't they? The track's improving. What can he do? That's it. Didn't count. Invalid lap there maybe for Matahimovic. He might get 1 or 2 more laps. It'd be close as to whether he gets 1 or 2 more in. Nando coming in towards the last corner. What is he going to be able to do? Currently P4. He's been pushed down the order in the latter stages of this qualifying session. Can he improve? No, he can't. 10th off his personal best. He'll get 1 more go though, Sergey. He might be able to get himself back on the front row. Duismonks coming over the line, and he improves, but not by enough. He improved his lap time by a couple of tenths. Yeah, still 8 tenths off for the fastest time right now. 8 tenths separating the top 5. In fact, only a second separating the top 6, so it is incredibly close at the top of this leaderboard. But it's currently being headed by Unorthodox right now, as we can see our RMS Garcia coming in towards turn 1. 1.1 seconds off for the pace at the moment is Garcia. Invalmada coming in towards the penultimate turn, the Melbourne hairpin. Second off for the pace at the moment. Let's see if he can find a little bit more time in the later stage of this session. Obviously disconnected from the session in the early stages, so that would have halted his preparation, his mental state coming into this a little bit. Out of Goddard now, what is he going to do? He takes the grass there, gets very, very loose. That would have compromised him a little bit. Line P5.
But he made a good lap. P5.
Yeah. Still gets P5, so that's solid lap time there for Invalmada. Mitowski come up towards the line, and he can't improve. He will get another lap in though. Green Pies will get another lap after this. Can't improve though. He does start a flying lap though, crucially. And Matahimovic goes P3, but he crossed the line just after the cutoff, so he misses out on being able to set another lap time. But he puts himself on the second row for now, ahead of Matowski. Great stuff there from Matahimovic. What about Duismonks? What can he do? Coming in towards the final corner here. This will be his last lap of the session. He's currently sat in 7th place, but he's only 8 tenths off of the pole position time being set by Unorthodox. Who's in the pits. No, he comes in Oh, that's a shame there for him. Unorthodox is in the pits. He won't improve. Nando in Armada also sat in the pit box at the moment. RMS Garcia comes out onto the start-finish straight. It looks like he's... Oh,
yeah,
he has to be 5 there.
Another good lap.
Sergey, look how close it is. 8-10.
Yeah, it's very close.
Top 8. It's so tight at the top of this leaderboard. Honestly, this is great action so far in these tier 2s.
Yeah.
We're seeing it a really hotly contested league right now, but it looks like Dan is going to be a man on pole unless Mitowski can find a little bit of time, but he's down on his middle sector checkpoint coming through that part of the lap. What is he going to be able to find here in the final couple of corners of this Donington Park GP circuit, driving in that AMG? Has he got anything left in the tank? It looked like he was a little bit hesitant there on the entry towards Goddard's. Gets the power down on the exit. Is he going to be able to do it? I don't think this is going to be pole for Mitowski. No, stays P4. All right, Green Pie's coming over the line. Stays P2 for the time being. I think that's that for the session then. So it's going to be unorthodox starting on pole position by only a tenth of a second ahead of Green Pies. Matimovic not too far behind will get a good penalty, which will drop him behind Mitowski. So it'll be Mitowski P3, Matimovic in 4th, RMS Garcia and Nando on the 3rd row. Invarmada and DeHuisRocker in 7th and 8th places. 8 tenths separating the top 8 drivers. It is so tight here in these tier 2s. Denshi Desu in 9th with the wall alongside him at the back. Those two I'm sure are going to have a good battle. But here we go then. This is it, the start of the GT3s for Motive Racing's Project Cars 2 GT3 League. Hit the like button, guys. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Motive Racing channel and join us at motiveracing.com. If you think you can beat these guys out on track, we're going to proceed to the opening race of the season right about now.
Yeah, I hope to see a great battle for the first place here, because these 8 guys are really close to each other. Less than a second separates them, and we may see really good battles here.
Yeah, fingers crossed we do see some of the best action here. These guys, obviously, some of these guys are seasoned veterans at Motive Racing. We've got a couple of newcomers as well, but hopefully they all treat each other with the respect and the courtesy that's required going into turn 1 here, because everybody's going to be keen to get off on the right foot and make an impression, but it's about just keeping your head, staying calm, and being composed on the brakes. It's going to be a reasonably short run up towards turn 1. It's not the shortest of runs, but it's you know, there's not much time to really make the best of a good start, or you're not going to really lose out too much if you get bogged down at the start. But for sure, everybody's going to be wanting to make the right start to the season. Can Dan defend off of Green Pies coming up towards turn 1? We know that the AMG is pretty quick off the line, which will help Mitowski when we get going. But here we go then, we're about to go racing here at Donington Park for the opening round of the Tier 2 GT3s. Jamie Brazier says, can I race next week in the Tier 2s? Of course, Jamie, sign yourself up at motiveracing.com. Miguel Brandon says, good luck to everyone. Here we go, and it's lights out and away we go. And I think that Green Pies got slightly bogged down off the line. Dan gets a good start, leads up into turn 1. We've got Matimovic on the outside of Mitowski, but Matimovic has made a great start around the outside up into P2. Green Pies getting pushed out a little bit. We've got somebody really wide there at turn 1. I think that was Nando. Nando goes from 4th down to 9th place at turn 1, but is currently leading away by half a second. Matimovic got a good start up into 2nd place. Green Pies there in 3rd, but Mitowski dropping down to P4 early on.
They made a mistake.
Oh no, is that Garcia there? Garcia involved in an incident with Mitowski. Those two drop into the back of the field. I thought that Garcia was trying to move up the inside of Mitowski there. It's dropped both of them out of the picture, as Dan still leads the way ahead of Matimovic right now. Green Pies has dropped off a little bit in that Jim Armada right behind him. DeHuisRocker, Denshi Desu up into 6th place. Good start from him. Nando there in 7th with Mitowski. The wall in 9th place, and Garcia down to the back of the pack after that little incident. Disaster of the start there for Garcia, Sergey.
Yeah, it was a really bad lap from him. So he made a contact with another driver, but all may happen now. He's only 10 seconds behind Unorthodox, and maybe we'll see some more action here, some more battles, some more incidents, and maybe he will make his way through the back. As you see, Nando now is gaining positions back. He's now currently on P5 and trying to battle with those monkeys, and I think he made a mistake. And
yeah, I thought he was going to be able to capitalise on that. Green Pies, no, sorry, not even Green Pies, Denshi Desu has got Mitowski looking to his inside, coming up towards Redgate. I think he's going to have that one done on the brakes. Reasonably routine stuff. Oh no, Denshi's going to fight it around the outside, go really late on the brake. And Mitowski not able to get it done. I thought he was going to have that move done relatively routinely there, but Denshi getting his elbows out and going very, very late. Coming into the braking zone, still holds onto that position. Garcia all over the back of the wall in this battle for ninth place. Still hasn't managed to get himself up in the last spot.
It's off. What was that?
And Nando
Someone flying.
Nando's on his roof.
Nando's flying there.
Oh my goodness me, look at all that bodywork that's come off the car, coming through on the grass there on the side of the track.
I know that it's just sim racing, but when I saw that Nando is flying there, I was really scared now. It was a so big flight here from Nando, and we can see what happened with his car.
Look at that, the front of that car is completely gone, hasn't it? It's nothing left to be seen. As you can see, it's pretty transparent. You can see the ins and outs of that car, but at the moment we got Armada just ahead of Garcia, and Garcia's made a mistake. Look at it, he's dropped back. He's fallen off to the back of Mitowski there. Mitowski's up into 5th, so he's still having a look though, coming in towards Goddard's on the inside. Bit of a tap there from Garcia, squeezes through ahead of Mitowski up into 5th place. Still a little bit off at the back of Armada there, running in P4, but good move there from Garcia to get that position straight back off of Mitowski, and Mitowski's going to have to fight it out once again. In the meantime, the race leader Unorthodox is pulling out the gap, as we just saw Armada getting really wide there out of Redgate on the grass a little bit, gets away with...
and another mistake!
Oh no, it's off! Oh no, he spun out in turn 1. Nando moves up into 9th. Did he lose that by himself there, Sergey? I think that was all his own doing, that one.
Yeah, I think he just lost it by himself. It's a mistake. I think there wasn't any contact there. And Armada received a penalty now. One second penalty. Not so big. But now we can see that Garcia is right on his back. And Garcia made a mistake. He touched the grass. And it's a chance for Mitowski to gain the position.
I know what that's like. It's easily done coming through Coppers. It's a blind right-hand turns are going up the hill, so it's not easy to get that one right. He defends the inside there to Mitowski. Mitowski's still able to get around him as he cuts the inside of the Foggy S's a little bit. As I look to the outside in towards Melbourne, but as we can see, also Armada still trying to fend off green pies. And
I think he made it over. I think Armada took green pies now. Maybe green pies.
He made the move.
Yeah. Green Pies had a mistake, I think.
Must have overtook him through the previous corner, yeah. Foggy S's, he must have got a good run coming out of there, and he's managed to get up into P3. Armada's got a penalty, noticing that on the timing screen. He's got a red splotch next to his name, as you mentioned, Sergey. So definitely it's going to compromise him once we get to the end of this race. I just want to say a big shout out though to the 2 leaders. Mitowski really gets a slide on there coming through the first corner, but gets away with it just about. Would have lost him a bit of time and dropped him off to the back of Garcia a little bit, but a big shout out to Unorthodox and to Matahimovic. These two at the front have left everybody completely in their wake right now. They've got 12, 13, 15 seconds to the rest of the pack, and Matahimovic keeping Unorthodox honest.
Yeah, Matahimovic is in the pace of Unorthodox, but now no fight for the first place happened. And Green Pies there overtook Armada. I think he made a mistake maybe because Garcia is now right on his back. Oh, it was so near the contact and Mitowski there.
Big tank stopper there. He gets back on just in front of... Yeah, Denshi sweeping down the inside, and he's made that move brilliantly there. Denshi seizing on that, took advantage of those two having to, obviously, we just had Armada having to back out because of Mitowski's moment, and Denshi went full beans through the both of them up into 5th place. Great opportunism there for Denshi as Armada's trying to defend Mitowski coming into Melbourne hairpin there. But Mitowski the big loser in that little exchange, and in the meantime it's Green Pies has still got Garcia not too far behind him in about the 3rd. Oh no, there's been a lead change. What's happening?
Unorthodox, Unorthodox made a mistake maybe in the first corner, and Matahimovic made a maneuver to go into P1.
Great stuff there. Matthew Duffin, Matahimovic, now your new leader here at Donington Park. It's a track that he dearly loves. He says it a lot of the time. I've noticed when he commentates on this track, you can almost feel like he's aching to get out on the track, and he's more than willing to take his opportunity. Oh no! He gets a little bit of a slido, and Dan runs straight into the back of him. That was a little bit unfortunate there for Dan. He had nowhere to go. Matt just started to lose the car in front of him, and Dan ran straight into the back of him. In the end, I had a bit of contact, which is he's come off way worse in that one. And Matahimovic now has a 7-second lead over Dan, but that kind of just came from Matahimovic making that little mistake, and then Dan corrected Matahimovic, but ended up spinning it around himself. Disaster there for Dan. It's possibly brought him out of contention for that lead for now. Matahimovic getting away quite lightly with that one. Got to say, Matahimovic very lucky in that scenario. Well, see, look at the outside of Green Pies. He's got that one done coming out of the Foggy Estes, and he's up into third place. Green Pies elect not to come back.
Oh, Green Pies is trying.
He does. Oh wow! That was a really late move up the inside. They're still side by side. Garcia will have the inside for Goddard. Green Pies flashing his lights. Green Pies, I don't think there was anything wrong with that, to be fair, mate. I don't think your protests are going to come to any avail on that one, but he's looking at the inside coming out of the last corner. Garcia! Oh no! And he snaps the other way and into Green Pies. Big contact there. Oh my gosh.
Then
surely have to let Green Pies.
He made another
maneuver. Let Green Pies back past. DJPhilgreen, oh my god, he's picking them off left, right and centre. All the incidents are going up in front of him, he's picking up the pieces. Brilliant stuff from DJPhilgreen. Unbelievable driving, he's keeping it clean and tidy, and he's getting the rewards for it.
Yeah, I think that it is his debut here in Motive Racing, and it wasn't so good qualification for him, but he just went out of the water without any damage, and he's now trying on the final podium spot on P3, and maybe he'll try to defend from Garcia and Green Pies, but we can see that Garcia didn't.
Green Pies gets a big pitch on there. Yeah, snaps to the outside there.
Maybe we'll
difficult corner coppers, and yeah, here we go. Imamada makes the move there on Green Pies and punishes him for that little skirmish that he had coming out of the right-hander, but yeah, that's not the best for Green Pies. He's kind of
Garcia is on the he's on the grass.
Garcia's on.
Some kind of karma. Some kind of karma, I think. But I don't know what to say, that he just tried to beat Green Pies out. Maybe it was a race incident, but I think that he should give the position back to Green Pies, because I think that Green Pies was better, and he was even in front of Garcia, but this contact.
Yeah, it wasn't really fair on Green Pies, because Garcia lost the car coming out of the last corner, got onto the grass and T-boned Green Pies, which wasn't Green Pies' fault at all. So yeah, I think you are right. He probably should have given place straight back to him. But Mitowski there's running in sixth. He's close.
Yeah, he's got the
going off to Green Pies a little bit. 1 second
penalty for Mitowski now. So not only Invamada is now in the list of penalty drivers. Now even Mitowski has got a 1 second penalty. It's not so big, but it may have some problems. Maybe Mitowski will face some problems in the end of the race. Maybe he'll lose even the position.
Very possibly, yeah. So he's riding with the wall there. AC currently sat in P10. He's 4 seconds off for the back of Nando at the moment, as that is RMS Garcia getting a little bit onto the grass there, and DeHuisRocker might be able to make a move coming into the Foggy S's. No, he's too far back just at the moment, unable to capitalise on that one. But yeah, he just thought for a moment there. Oh no, he's lost it again. He's got really sideways coming out of Foggy S's into the barriers, and that has given the position there to DeHuisRocker, and Garcia having an absolute nightmare. He's retired from the race. Yeah. That is unfortunate there for Garcia. That's not what you want to see. He's thrown in the towel. He's fed up of having a few too many incidents here in this race, and that is his race over and done with. Meantime, we've got Matimovic still leading this race. Of unorthodox, the gap 6 seconds, so Dan's just started to reel that in a little bit over the last couple of laps after that incident we saw between those two a few laps ago. DJPhilgreen still running in third place, and he's got a couple of seconds back to Invamada. If he can keep doing what he's doing right now, stay consistent and stay out of trouble, then DJPhilgreen could be on for a podium spot in this race. Invamada currently running in 4th place with a penalty, a couple of seconds up the road from Green Pies in P5. Mitowski 3 seconds behind Green Pies in 6th place. Then DeHuisRocker just behind him. Nando and The Wall completing the classification right now. 9 drivers still out on track here. 18 minutes still to go. Still a long way left to go in this race, and anything can happen. And Dan is still continuing to win in the race in the massive grid. As we see, Armada having a big moment there, and that's going to allow Green Pies an opportunity here. But Denshi looked like he's dropped a bit of time to these guys. He's now got Armada and Green Pies really reeling him in as we're coming up towards the final sector here. Is Armada going to go for a very late move on the brakes here coming into Melbourne? I think he's going to think about it, but then he's going to think better of it because he's not close enough on the brakes. Denshi's still holding on for dear life at the moment, but he's got the Ferrari and the Mercury close behind him right now.
Yeah, so it will be a really hard defend for DJPhilgreen, I think, but maybe he'll fight for his final podium spot because it's a great debut, I think, to start with the podium, and maybe we'll see a great battle for the 3rd place now. As we can see. Oh, and someone disconnected.
Oh no, who's disconnected? That's Nando. Nando's out of the race.
Yeah.
Nando's retired. Yeah, he was qualified up there in the qualifying session, but the race has not really gone to plan for him at all. Interestingly, it's the 2 former Tier 1 racers, Nando and Garcia, who have retired from this race early on here. I say early on, almost halfway through, but it's I mean, maybe they underestimated this Tier 2 championship. I know that they've raced in the Tier 1s throughout the course of Motive Racing's history here on Project Cars 2, and possibly they expected it to be a little bit easier than it's been, but the standard of driving and the pace of these drivers here in this Tier 2 is actually really impressive. I've got to say, I'll take my hat off to these guys right now. Oh no,
he lost.
Denshi gets through.
Denshi lost.
Denshi gets off into the grass. It's his first mistake of the race. He's been keeping it clean and tidy throughout the entire thing, Sergey, but one little mistake, and it's given him Armada and Green Pies that impetus, as Green Pies is very close on the back of him Armada now in this battle for the final podium spot as well. I wonder if he'll be able to have a crack at him in the next couple of laps, but it's a shame there for Denshi. He's lost out to Mitowski as well. Mitowski's up into 5th place there on your timing screws, so Denshi there, just one little mistake. He's been keeping it so tidy since the beginning. He's been picking up pieces when everybody else has been loose far in front of him, but unfortunately there, just a little lapse of concentration is all you need in that scenario.
Yeah, so I think that DJPhilgreen is now still in the race, and he may fight for top 5 at least, and he lost about 7 seconds to Armada and all other guys, and they will now have a battle for position, and maybe will lose sometimes. So if DJPhilgreen will be consistent through these laps which are left, it's more than 15 minutes left. So I think that Denshi, if he will have a good pace, he may be in the fight for the 3rd place. So all may happen now, and Green Pies are... Oh,
Green Pies is into 3rd. It looks like Armada gets really loose there coming out of Coppice, got onto the grass a little bit. That's given Green Pies that P3. But yeah, anything can happen to these guys in front, and they start making mistakes as they have done throughout the course of this race. Then Denshi is going to be there to capitalise. Mitowski does his fastest middle sector of the race so far, 10th quicker than he's been at any point throughout this race. And you can see Green Pies and Armada just in front of him, and you can see the possibility of getting a podium here in his return to GT racing here on Project Cars 2. As we said earlier, former champion of the GT Tier 2 division here at Motive back before we stopped in GTE, so he definitely knows how to drive a GT car on this game. As we can see, Armada having another look to the inside of Green Pies in towards Reggae, but Green Pies is going to close the door and cover that one off. He's not coming through just there, and it's going to hold on for P3 for the time being. These guys are a long way ahead of DeHuisRocker, currently running in 6th place, a long way back to Denshi. In fact, Denshi's lost another place there.
Matt Hamish has got a time penalty. Matt Hamish has got 1 second penalty, and then Unorthodox was a bit faster through some last laps. So I think that if Dan will be very close to Matt Hamish, he may win this race, because we can see now it was about 5 seconds difference between them, but now it's less than 4 seconds. So all may happen here, and I think Green Pies made a mistake.
Oh, bit of a collision there. Yeah, Green Pies coming together there. Mitowski gets wide. Looks like also That's goodness me, looks like Matowski there getting a little bit sideways there. But we've got Matowski looking to the inside of Green Pies in towards the Foggy S's. Green Pies goes a little bit deeper to the corner, and Matowski spun it. He's got loose, and that's going to give Armada the 4th place back. DeHuisRocker coming up on the scene as Matowski gets it together once again. Green Pies has now got Armada really close behind him, but that just scored over a little bit. It came from Green Pies. He's gone deep. Oh, I thought he got the cut back there, but Armada's still got the inside coming into Goddard. They're side by side still. I think Armada's going to cover that one off unless Green Pies goes for cut back now. He'll be able to. Armada very intelligently parked his car on the inside of the corner and had no way around him. So it's as you were in that battle. But Matowski going off at the Foggy S's all came from Green Pies going a little bit deep into the corner, and then Matowski tried to go for the cutback on the exit of the corner, but it all went horribly wrong. He got a little bit too overzealous on the power, and it spun him out, put him on the grass, and he's now dropped a couple of seconds to these two, Armada and Green Pies. Gap at the front spun up. Oh no! Great curves. Green Pies spun out, onto the gravel, and that's going to give DeHuisRocker 5th place there. He's been chasing these guys down for a few laps while they've been losing time, fighting each other. And Green Pies now down to 6th place here in this race, keeping an eye on the gap at the front. Matej is being reeled in by Dan. The gap almost weakens a few moments ago, and obviously with Matej with that penalty, it will cost him at the end of the race. So Dan's getting the laps down at the moment. He's really putting in the work, isn't he? So
he's faster than Matej now, and. So yeah, we see that he was about 1 second faster, or even more, than Matej on the last lap. So I think that unorthodox know that Matej got 1 second penalty, and he'll try to be as fast as possible if he want to win this race. And it's still about 10 minutes left, and the lap here is not so big. So about I think 5 or 7, from 5 to 7 laps left. So maybe we can see the battle for the 1st place, not only for the podium spots.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting fight all around the field, but it's the podium spots is definitely between Armada, Matowski, DeHuisRocker and Green Pies. But the two at the front, you've got to really take your hat off to Matej and to unorthodox. These two have just absolutely left the rest of the field in their wake. They have put in consistent 128s, 129s. They've been on another level here. They haven't got involved in too many scuffles or incidents. They've just got their heads down and driven off into the distance. Right now, Matej with that lead, but Dan is hunting him down and continuing to time off of him. As DeHuisRocker is very, very close behind Green Pies, going up the hill towards Coppice corner, but he's not going to be in a position to go for the move just at the moment. He's going to be too far back, coming down this back straight towards the Foggy S's as well. But he's going to keep Green Pies under pressure and try and give him something to worry about in the final third of this race, that is for sure. As these two are dropping off to the back of Armada and Matowski just a little bit now, by the looks of it. There's 5 seconds between this pair and the pair up ahead.
Yep, so they dropped off. I think that Green Pies is struggling again, and we can see that he made a little mistake in this happen. So yeah, Green Pies continue to struggle here in front of the cars. I know that he's there. Oh, and he spun. Oh,
Green Pies! Oh no! Unfortunate there for him. He gets it. Oh, he tries to get it spun around again, but then overdoes it, getting it turned around again. So that's given DeHuisRocker's 5th place. It's kind of going all a little bit pear-shaped for Green Pies. He's clearly running on soft tyres, you can just tell, because they're getting worse and worse as this race goes on. Maybe the track temperature a little bit too high. Go soft on and expect them to last the distance over a half-an-hour race. You've really got to be kind to them. You've got to run those pressures as low as you can at the start and try and just nurse them to the finish. But it's kind of it's all unravelling here for Green Pies. He's only got 5 seconds back to Denshi. He needs to get himself back in the zone and just keep calm and collected. He's in a good point scoring position right now. Got to remember, depleted field, so as long as he gets to finish where he is, it will still keep him in good stead when we get to the end of this championship.
Yeah, as I've said, Green Pies is really fast in Formula 1, and he's fighting for the title there in this very big season. But here in Project Cars, he's really struggling, so he can drive greatly, perfectly on open wheels. But if you take these GT3 cars, as we saw even in Porsche Porsche Cup in etc. course. He's really struggling in these races, and it's really hard for him to drive here. But maybe it happens because in Formula 1 cars are faster, and maybe because of that he can't drive in these slow GT3 cars if to compare them
maybe
with Formula 1.
The biggest difference is that this is obviously a sim, and Formula 1 game being a more arcadey, less realistic type of game, it's a whole different kettle of fish. This one's a lot more physical, you feel a lot more feedback from the wheel, it's a lot more based on how a real car is going to handle, whereas the F1 game is meant to be for a casual Formula 1 fan. You know, it's meant to be it's meant to be towards a more mainstream market, whereas this is for the more hardcore sim racers. So GreenPie is obviously a big motorsport fan and enjoying any type of racing, but he's pretty quick in these GT3s. You know what? The thing about GreenPie is that he's got a lot of pace on project cars. You've seen that in the qualifying sessions. It's just I don't know, in the races it just kind of all seems to go wrong. I don't know whether or not he tries to make the soft tyres last for an entire race, and especially in these GT3s that can be a problem, but he's got the pace. It's just consistency. That's all he needs to kind of get it sorted out. He's clearly a quick lad.
Yeah, in sim racing you just have to have a good pace and be consistent, and you'll be on the top spots. But now GreenPie is really struggling with consistency. But maybe he will find it, and he will drive even as good as in Formula 1. So the time will show, and we have a big season. It's 7 stages left, and now GreenPie is in the good points because not so much guys here in Tier 2. So P6, if you keep this position, or even P7, it's not so bad, so it's a good point. And if to consider the way of the whole championship, which will lead for 7 more races, GreenPie will have all the chances to be in top 5 even, and maybe he'll try to be promoted into Tier 1, because top 5 is promoted into Tier 1 there. And all may happen now, so it's just opening race of the season, and no worries for this.
There's still a long way to go, of course, and one good thing about GreenPie is now he's in some clean air, and he's not in the thick of a battle. You just saw there, he set his fastest lap on the previous lap, fastest first sector on this current lap that he's on, so I think it's just about maybe being in the thick of a battle can sometimes be a bit disconcerting. And now that he's got a clear track in front of him, we're seeing more of his full potential again. He's now reeling in DeHuisRocker by about half a second a lap. He's pulling away from DJPhilgreen behind him. So it's just little things, little fundamental kind of parts of racing that I think he needs to get to grips with in terms of a sim. And he's going to be right there. He's going to be fighting for race wins once he can just get past those little niggles. As we can see, Ratowski right now is just about a second or so behind in Barmada, but last lap he was actually 1.3 seconds faster, so he's really making gains right now in this battle for the final podium spot. Gap at the front between Matahimovic and Arnold Dubs, it's about 2-3 seconds, and Matt is holding on at the moment as Dan's about to put a lap there on somebody. I believe that's the wall there, moving well out of the way, so well done to the wall, good to see. But Ratowski doing his fastest first sector of the race as the fuel load starts to deplete at this point in the race. You are going to see drivers doing purple lap times, purple sectors left, right and centre, and Ratowski, as he gets closer to the back of him, Armada will feel a definite loss of front end grip. You do get this, the Project Cars 2 game very realistically replicates the amount of the effects that the dirty air has on the prevailing car. As we come into the foggy S's right about now, and you can see he's so close behind him at the moment. Armada's going to be looking very much in his rear view mirror. Ratowski half a second quicker in his previous best in the middle sector. He's on it right now. He's found a groove. A little bit too late in the race, but he's getting there, and he might be able to sniff a chance of getting up into P3. These two a long way ahead of DeHuisRocker and GreenPie now in towards the final corner. And at the moment, he's on
the grass.
That was going to be a purple lap time there, so I'm gutted for him. He was on a flyer there, but he loses a second in that final sector, and it's dropped him off at the back of Armada and given Armada that little bit of breathing space now.
Yeah, so Oh, and again another mistake. So Invamada just may be consistent now, as he now see that Mitowski made 2 mistakes in a row. Maybe Invamada will be consistent and just stay concentrated and keep this P3, because Mitowski is even struggling more. So he lost about 1 second on the only first sector. So Mitowski now is really struggling with his mess, with his Mercedes, and I think that if Invamada won't make any mistakes here, he will have this final podium spot without any doubts.
Yeah, for sure, unless he makes some kind of mistake or Mitowski's able to put in some more consistent times. But I just feel like every time Mitowski gets up onto the back of him, he loses some of that front end grip, and it ultimately comes to no avail. Invamada also setting his fastest times of the race so far, a tenth quicker in that middle sector than he's been at any point. The gap's still 2.5 seconds at the front. We're not quite sure what the penalty situation is. Matijevich picked up more penalties in this race, or is he still the same state of play?
1 second.
Still 1 second. So Dan, at this point now, is may just throw caution to the wind. He might say, "Go on, let's just go for it full beans, see what happens," because Matt has got that buffer that he needs, and he's currently sat in a race-winning position at the moment. Matijevich, first time he's raced on Project Cars 2 here at Motive for quite a while actually. He used to race in our GT5 Janetta Cup when we used to race that back at the start of this year, and first time he's raced the GT3s here at Motive, and doing an absolutely phenomenal job. Great commentator, very, very talented sim racer as well. Dan 2.6 seconds behind. I wonder if he's going to have what it takes to bring that gap down as we're coming up towards the penultimate lap of this race. There's Mitowski still all over the back.
I think that we have 2 more laps. I think we have 2 more laps, because it's 1:35 left. Yeah, and 1 lap about 1:30.
Yep.
Oh, and Unorthodox picked up a penalty, 1 second penalty. So top 4 has got 1 second penalty here.
Yeah, he has to. Looks like the penalties are going around a little bit. Dan has kept it clean for the majority of the race, but one little slip, and he's now on the same page as Matijevich. So he's now got to get the move done on the track. He can't afford to just be within a second. He's now got to get ahead of him. He's got to find a spot around this Donington Park GP circuit where he can get himself ahead. But it's easier said than done, as we got Mitowski still on the back of Invamada. Lost a little bit of time there going through that final sector. 19 people watching the stream at the moment, guys. Drop a like on the video, show your appreciation for these drivers. They're putting on a fantastic show. These tier 2 boys are really getting some great action on the channel tonight, and got the tier 1s coming up after this as well, so definitely stick around for that. As we can see, Mitowski's dropped continuously off the back of Invamada coming through the last part of that lap and the start of this one. But what is going to happen here? 1.4. Now the gap at the front between Matt and Dan. This is going to go down to the wire. We're pretty sure of this. They're about to start the final lap of this race, and Matijevich has been in the box seat since pretty much since the early stages. Dan led the opening couple of laps, and then Matt got the lead. They had a little bit of a collision just before the halfway point of the race, which was kind of a 50-50 really. Matijevich lost control. Dan ran into the back of him and came off much worse and ended up about 5 seconds behind. Since then, he's gradually brought the gap down, but they've been very evenly matched, and to be fair, over the last few laps it's kind of stayed at around the same. Dan has gained maybe about a second or two over the course of these last couple of laps, but it's really been nip and tuck between these two, and Matijevich would be a very well deserved winner if he can hold on here on this last lap. 1.5 the gap between these two, the 2 Porsches.
And there is a battle here, and Mitowski made maneuver on the P3 now.
He's done it, finally.
Yeah, he overtook Invamada, and Green Pies picked up a penalty. It's 2 second penalty. But I don't think that those months will be near, and we can see that Invamada is trying to battle for the 3rd place again.
Oh, here we go.
He's
on the inside. Oh, bit of a dogman between the 2 of them. He's got the position back there. Invamada's not saying die in this situation. Let's get to the leaders though, Sergey, because we can see that they're coming around the final part of this lap. Matijevich on a slow lap this time around, a second off of his PB, but he's not going to be too concerned about that. He's got a second back to Dan. He just needs to bring it through this final corner in towards Goddard's for the final time. Matthew Duffin in his first appearance in the GT3s here at Motive Racing. Our regular commentator for the touring cars on a Sunday night comes out of the last corner, flashes his lights, and takes the checker flag here at Donington Park. What a brilliant win
less than a second between
Dan
them.
follows him over in second place. It's a Porsche 1-2 for those two. Invar Marder running just ahead of Matowski here as these two are coming up towards the Foggy S's for the final time. And it looks like Matowski's going at the outside. Is Invar Marder on the brakes and trying to defend it? No, Matowski's got that one done. And he's done it brilliantly there. Almost cuts the inside of the chicane. Is Invar Marder going to come back at him coming up towards the Melbourne hairpin? Here we come, side by side. Squeezes through the gap. Invar Marder throws one back up the inside. Is Matowski going to try and defend it on the outside? He's going to try and hold it there, and he's going to still be there. They're still side by side coming up towards turn one. Invar Marder leaves Matowski the space on the inside in towards Goddard, but Matowski's gone really deep, and Invar Marder's going to sneak back up the inside, and it's going to be a podium spot here for Invar Marder. Matowski threw everything at it into the last corner, but pins it into the wall. Invar Marder completes your podium ahead of Matowski. Those two had a great battle at the end there, which Invar Marder comes out on top of. Green Pie is coming out of the final corner. It's going to be a P5 for our man in the number 31 Ferrari. Not the race that he would have hoped for, I'm sure of that. But he had the pace tonight, just the consistency was found wanting a little bit. DeHuisRocker finishes in 6th place. And that is all she wrote then.
Is on P7. Yeah.
Wall finishing in 7th. Then she retiring on the last lap. Yeah. So he obviously called it a day just before we got to the end there. But Matahimovic, Unorthodox, and Invar Marder, your podium finishers for tonight, put on a great battle, and we are very grateful to them for putting on a great show. Also, the viewers on YouTube, if you enjoy what you see, then drop a like on the video. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We will be live for the Tier 1s very, very shortly. Grab a drink, grab a snack, do what you got to do, and we will be on very, very shortly. But yeah, drop a like, subscribe, and join us at motiveracing.com.
Probably Matthew Duffin. Probably Matthew Duffin.
Good. Cillian, however you say it.
What?
Yeah. Do you know on a Friday in F1? Yeah. That's how we feel on a Friday when you just piss off into the distance. That's exactly how we feel on a Friday.
I'll be honest, I didn't really care because I got to race a few of the guys, which was good fun.
That was good. It was good.
Yeah, thanks for the race. Sorry, Green Pie is almost gonna run into me there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. There was a few bumps, but they're all accidents.
Me and Matt might have to sign up for the whole season now.
Well, you two count as getting points for that.
We were just reserves.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I don't think so, because I'm gonna...
Introducing 11.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the... Oh, goodness me, let's turn that off. Apologies. What can I hear? Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for the Tier 1 race of the GT3s. This evening, we're here at Donnnington Park. We saw an excellent Tier 2 race, which involved a fantastic battle between MeltedDazzer and Unorthodox. MeltedDazzer coming out on top in that one. Hopefully those guys will be joining us as a permanent fixture for the remainder of the season. They'll be having some more great battles, but yeah, that was the opening race of the evening, the Tier 2s. These are the seasoned veterans in front of us now of the GT3s here at Motive Racing, some of the creme de la creme. We've got the best of the best in front of us right now. Sergey, I think we're in for an absolute treat tonight with these Tier 1 drivers.
Yeah, so now we'll see these guys again on the track, these masters in GT3s and Project Cars 2 here in Motive, best of the best. And it's interesting to me if Wellside Racing, will be as fast as he was in the previous GT3 Tier 1 races, because he finished all races on podium, and I think that he finished twice on the second place. All in other races he had a win. So it's interesting to me if Wellside will be as fast as he was. Oh, and
absolutely.
McGuy disconnected.
You mentioned Wellside there, but another driver who we haven't seen in these Tier 1s so far is DJPhilgreen. This man was on a bit of a purple patch at the back end of last season in the Tier 2s. He was taking win after win after win, and I'm very excited to see how he fares in this top tier as well. So I definitely look out for Wellside. Another driver who's new to the Tier 1s here at GT3s is Disco Face. Many will know Disco. He runs GT lobbies on public lobbies here on Project Cars 2. He also took part in SimPlay's Pro Series on Thursday night alongside myself. So he's going to be a contender. But like that is for sure. You can always bet on Disco giving it a good go, and if he's off the podium in either race tonight, I will be very, very surprised indeed. You're hearing it here first. I reckon Disco is going to be a dark horse for a win tonight. Had plenty of practice around Donington as well, seeing as we were racing Donington on Thursday at SimPlay, so definitely going to be an exciting recipe, that is for sure, as we see Daryl there getting himself warmed up with those tyres and everything. But yeah, early stages in this Tier 1 qualifying session. Opening round of the season for the Tier 1s is always a qualifying session, but then from the from next round onwards up until the end of the season, this session is going to be replaced with a practice session, and essentially the grid order will be based on the reverse grid for the championship standings. So whatever happens this week, we'll drop that on its head, and that will be the order that we start the sprint race in for next week. So it definitely makes it a little bit more exciting. So this is the only qualifying session that we have at the start of the Tier 1 event all season, so this is going to be a chance for everybody to get off on the right foot, and then after this it will be a simple practice session followed by a reverse grid. As we see Disco Face currently topping the timesheets here, just ahead of DJPhilgreen, 400 seconds.
Wow,
look at that.
26.9.
That is very, very quick indeed. Yeah, really impressive stuff there from Wellside, getting it down almost immediately. And what can anybody else do about that, though? We know Disco is able to get in the low 27s. Maybe he might be able to sneak a 26 in as well. Possibly even DJPhilgreen. Craig's currently going quicker, coming through the middle sector at the moment. But thankfully, Emo Guy's got himself back in the session. That's good to see. He's driving in the GTR as Emo Guy. Obviously, he was racing in the Janetta at SimPlay Pro Series on Thursday. But he's definitely got plenty of experience in the GTR. I see Boostyn coming over the line, can't improve at the moment, stays in P9. Miguelito, last season's champion, crosses the line, and that's an outlap there for him. Yeah, presumably an outlap. Miguelito, the reigning champion of the GT3 division. JM Gruhl coming over the line, last season's Tier 2 champion. Can't improve at the moment, stays in P11. As we're watching Maze Gamer coming out of the last corner, what is he able to do? Comes up towards the line, P5 at the moment, a little way off. Yeah, P6 even, yeah.
Oh, and there's McLaren. It was DJPhil. Oh, and he ruined the lap of this Janetta.
Yeah, that's not ideal at all. DJPhilgreen goes up into P2. He's 6/10 off of Wellside, so Daryl showing his worth in the early stages. He'll definitely be able to improve and get a little bit closer to Wellside as this session goes on, as will Disco. Oldbar currently sat in 4th place place, a long way off. The time's kind of yet to really come in thick and fast. We're not really seeing the absolute pace, I don't think, at this point, as EmoGuy gets himself back in the session. That is good to see. And we've currently got 13 cars out on track at the moment, just under 10 minutes left to go in this session. And looks like all but one driver have set a lap time here, but a couple of those have been out laps. Clegg, Boostyn, Miguelito, Jay and Paul, all still yet to set flying laps at the moment, as we're currently watching the last season's champion, Miguelito, coming in towards the final corner now in his traditional Vodafone livery McLaren. Let's see what he can do here as he comes out of Goddard's, and this is his first flying lap of the session. He does a P4 there, 128.1.
Very close to disco face, so maybe he will even be faster than him and will be on P3 or even on P2 maybe, because it's not so far to Darrow Exchanger.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a little bit closer this season in terms of Velside. Velside came into last season with very little on his shoulders, in that he had got an early promotion from Tier 2. He wasn't in the championship hunt. He was just going out there and showing what he could do. I think this season, now that he knows that he's in it from the beginning, he's going to be driving a lot more of a conservative approach to the championship, and we'll definitely be seeing a lot of the other guys stepping it up a notch for this season. As Akbar comes over the line, can't improve, stays P5. We've got Funstopper just coming in towards one of the hairpins. We've got Maze Gamer coming out of the pits there. Funstopper though out onto the start-finish straight. What's he going to be able to do here? Can't improve at the moment, stays in P6 for the time being. So 8 tenths separating the top 3 just at the moment. JM Brawl is coming.
Oh, sector. He's driving on Nissan GTR. I didn't think that he will drive on this car. You know, he's driving on Lamborghini, but this is something unusual from him.
Traditionally, we're so used to seeing EmoGuy driving in that 666 in red Lamborghini, aren't we? It's a bit of a trademark there for him, but he switched it up a little bit for this particular season, and we've seen him actually driving in this Nissan GTR before. A couple of seasons ago, he raced in the Godzilla and actually did pretty well. He won a couple of races, namely at Circuit in America. I remember that was one of the ones that he took the checkered flag first in. But DJ Phil running in his traditional McLaren number 9 at the moment. He's come out the last corner. Let's see what DJ Phil can do here. Comes up towards the line. Can he get himself in he's already in the top 10 and he stays P9 for now.
Ray goes P9
tonight. Yeah, just places DJ Phil by a tenth of a second. Very close between those two at this point. 90 people watching the stream at the moment. Guys, if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe to the Motive Racing channel, and if you want to get involved, go to motiveracing.com, join the Discord server, get yourselves out on the track. If you think you can beat these guys, if you think you can mix it up in the lower tier 2, then definitely come along and see what we're about. As we can see, McLean coming up towards the line, can't improve at the moment.
Yeah, and now EmoGuy is the next one who will set the lap time. He's only one who haven't done it already, and he's just going into the start-finish line and goes P6. Not so bad lap. He's really close to Ukba, to top 5. Maybe he will even improve.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just disconnected.
You disconnected from the session?
Yeah. Try to be there.
Seems to be okay. Fingers crossed. There's no latency issues there. EmoGuy is a tenth of a second up in the first sector on this current lap that he's on. As we see Sergey's jumped back into the session. Thank goodness for that. The Wall saying in the comments who's about to stop the fun. Fun stopper, I would imagine the Wall, presumably. Currently starting the pits. Fun stopper! But we've got a few comments coming in here in the YouTube comments section. We got hot, sticky white water, presumably supporting a camel in the comments. Some camel emojis coming in. Good luck, says Master Banya in the comments section. The Wall obviously alluding to Fun Stopper there. As the Velside improves his lap time there, he goes actually a little bit quicker. He improves to 1 minute 26.7 at the moment. He's 8 tenths clear of Darrow
Goes even faster.
Yeah, he's
he goes even faster
at the moment. Yeah, he's flying. Yeah, he really is. As we see, MeltedDazzer coming on towards the line. What can he do on this latest lap? Looks like he can't improve at the moment. Stays in P7, 2/10 off his personal best actually on that particular lap time. We've got Sergey back in the lobby. That's good to see. Sergey always keeps me company here in these GT3s. Just remove the timing. Oh yeah, there we go. That's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
Yeah.
Disco Face currently sat in third at the moment. It's just over a second off of Valeside's time. He's got some experience around this track. Raced at Simplay on Thursday. He's been doing plenty of practice over the last couple of weeks. DJ Phil is currently sat in the final top 10 spot, doing a phenomenal job. As always, DJ Phil, one of our patrons, regular supporter on the channel and also on Discord as well. But yeah, gets very loose there. And that's his lap done and dusted. Disco Face coming in towards Goddard's. Can he get himself maybe on the front row, possibly ahead of Daryl? Gets onto the power out of the last corner. Over the line comes Disco Face, and he can't improve on that lap. Stays in P3, but he'll get a couple more runs here in this session. A few drivers coming over the line in the background there. That was Bunstopper and coming crossing the line. Craig's coming through the Craner curves at the moment. He's sat in 12th at the moment. Is Craig, as we see JM Gore coming through red gates and somebody just pitting there, I believe. That's Ogbot bringing it into the pits. But Maze Gamer's gone up into 4th place, up at 1.1 seconds off the Valeside. Nicolito, the reigning champion of these GT3s, sat in 5th as Boostyn's on his personal best coming through the middle sector. He's currently down in 13th place and wanted to get himself maybe in the top 10 if he possibly can. Gets Slaed big. Oh, yeah, that was very loose there from Boostyn. Brings it into the pits. As a result, McGlenn doing a great job, currently sat in that final top 10 spot. He's really improved since getting up into tier 1. His pace is absolutely on it tonight. Emo Guy, though, coming in towards the final corner. What can he do? He's currently sat in 7th, just under 2 seconds off of Valeside. Gets his foot to the floor. What's this going to be for the Flying Scotsman? He crosses the line and he can't improve. That's an outlap there for Emo Guy. Oh, it's somebody rejoins the track just in front of him. DJ Phil there.
Yeah, it was DJ Phil.
Yeah, a little bit of a risky entrance to the track as we see Disco Face coming up towards Goddard's now. And is he going to be able to get himself on the front row ahead of Daryl Exchange? It might be a bit of a push for him to get himself on pole ahead of Valeside. He's definitely got the pace to get a low 127. We've seen it before from Disco, but not on that lap. He will get a couple more runs though before we get to the end of the session. Maze Gamer's coming out of Melbourne now, gets a big twitch on as he gets the power down, but gets away with it for now. Currently sat on the second row is Maze Gamer. He's alongside Disco Face as it stands. What is he going to be able to eke out here as he exits the last corner out onto the start-finish straight? Trusted the line now, and Maze Gamer can't improve. That's now a lap, I think, for Maze Gamer. Yeah. So not an improvement there for him. Ogbar out of the last corner. What can the Flying Dutchman do? Currently sat in 6th place, our regular in GT3s. He looks like he can't improve there at the moment. Stays in P6. Yeah, unfortunately there, that's an outlap there for Ogbar. Emo Guy coming in towards the final couple of corners now. Can he find a little bit of time? He'll get one more run in after this, but time is running out. He really needs to get a strong lap time on the board if he wants to start at the sharp end of this race. Here he comes out onto the start finish straight now. What's this going to be for Emo Guy? He improves that time, but not by enough. He improves by about 1/10 of a second, still a couple of tenths off of Ogbar, and remains in P7 for now. Brill coming in towards the final part of the lap. We've got Boostyn coming into Melbourne. Craig's in towards Goddard's. What is Craig able to do here as he gets onto the power? As Mercedes JM Brill crossing the line, can't improve. Craig improves up into P11 there, pushes DJ Phil down. Yeah, pushes DJ Phil down a place. Disco comes over and can't improve. Disco's about 7/10 off of his personal best there. Boostyn crosses over. What can he do? He can't improve either. Stays in P13. We've got a Mercedes coming out of the last corner. Craig, I think, Maze Gamer, in the part. What about Valeside?
Valeside goes even faster than he was. And Maze Gamer goes on P3. Good job from him. And he just moved Disco Face off this 3rd place, and Maze Gamer is currently on P3 now. But let's watch Valeside. He will improve more on his lap, on his very fast lap. Unbelievably fast lap. Or maybe there won't be any improvements from him. But I don't think that anyone can... 3/10 is faster.
Oh my goodness. How is he going quicker in this session? This is unbelievable speed here from Vale's side as he's coming up towards the final corner now. Is he going to be able to eke out that little bit more and continue to do a low 126? That would be outstanding if he's able to keep this together. Here he comes, gets a little bit onto the grass there, pushed him 10th, but he's over the line now, and he does a 126.6. Blows it out.
1 second off all
Knocks it out. Craig comes over, P10 for him, not good enough to get himself at the sharp end. MazeGamer stood out on a lap time. Funstopper also. Opa is coming towards the end of his lap. What can MazeGamer do? Can he get himself on the front row ahead of Daryl Exchanger? As you can see, Funstopper.
I think no.
Maze is backed out of it.
Is done. Yeah, MazeGamer is done.
Funstopper out of the last corner. Can he improve? PA currently in the session can't improve. Stays in 8th place. So that's that.
Opa is in the wall.
In the wall. Oh no. Disaster there for Opa. MazeGamer's still going. He looked like he had backed out of it. He was taking a very strange line coming through the hairpin. Yep, that's it. He's into the pits. MazeGamer's done for the session. Vale side with a 1 second gap in the qualifying session. What a dominant showing there in the qualifying. Daryl, Maze, Disco are definitely going to have to get strong starts and try and stick it on Vale's side early if they want to stop Vale's side from running away with this sprint race. That's just the qualifying session. Stay tuned for the sprint race for the Tier 1s in a few moments' time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so it was an unbelievable lap from Vale's side. He 1 second off from anybody else, showing that he's the fastest here in motive racing, and I think that it's somewhere world's best results now, maybe. So he's doing a great job. This guy from Bulgaria, he's doing an unbelievable job. And I think that no one can overtake him. I think that he'll grab this win here in the first race.
Well, I think you allude to it is probably close to the fastest time here on PlayStation. The fastest time I've ever seen anybody do around Donington was a 125 on PC, but that's definitely got to be up there with some of the fastest times that has been done, that's been set on this game. I remember a guy called Yasko VR did a 126.6 also in another league in the GT3s a couple of years ago. But yes, since then, that's the quickest I've ever seen anybody go. And I think Valeside's slightly quicker than Yasko as well. So really hats off to him. Let's see if he can convert it to a race win here in this sprint race. Daryl's going to be looking to try and get a good start. He might sense it's his only opportunity to get the win in this race. MazeGamer and Disco just behind. Disco always goes better in the race than he does in the qualifying, so don't count out Disco. Once we go green light, we've got Miguelito, the reigning champion of the GT3s, lining up in 5th place in that McLaren. Opa usually goes well. He needs to make sure he gets through the first lap carnage. If he can, then he will definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Emo Guy down in 7th, out of position. You got Funstopper in 8th in his first appearance in the Tier 1s. JM Gruhl, last season's Tier 2 champion, in 9th place on the grid. Craig in 10th, rounding out that top 10, a good result for him. McGlenn in 11th, DJ Phil and Boostyn rounding out the field. But here we go, engine revs rise as we are about to go racing for the GT3 Tier 1s here on Project Plus 2 and Motive Racing Donington Park. And it's lights out and away we go. And it's a great start there from Daryl Exchanger. That is what he needed. He gets the jump immediately there on Vale's side, coming up towards Turn 1. Can he hold it around the outside though into Red Gates? Disco's also got the jump there on Maze as well, as it looks like Vale's goes late on the brakes and turns him off. But it looks like we got and he gets tagged on MazeGamer. Disco goes off into the barriers there. It looked like he was trying to cover off, move over across MazeGamer there. Vale's continues to lead the race ahead of Daryl Exchanger as Disco gets it, pointing in the right direction once again. But I fear that he drove across Maze a little bit there as Maze is getting it going once again as well. Vale's side though leads the race ahead of Daryl Exchanger. Opar in 3rd, Funstopper running in P4 at the moment. Miguelito's also running into problems there. He's been passed by McGlenn. Miguelito's down to 8th place, the reigning champion of the GT3s. DJ Phil has managed to get up into P5, but he goes wide onto the gravel, and that's given Miguelito the position. Boostyn follows him through, and Emo Guy as well. Vale's side leading this race ahead of Daryl Exchanger, and Disco and MazeGamer having that collision coming out on the exit of Turn 2 and way down the pack to the back of the field. Vale's side, Daryl, Opa, your top 3. There's Funstopper in the background. McGlenn has got Craig looking to his inside in towards the Foggy S's, not close enough.
Oh, made a contact.
Boostyn just behind him. Yeah, but it contact there. Craig goes straight on over the Foggy S's, and he's going to lose a couple of positions there. That's Boostyn, Emo Guy, and DJ Phil is going to capitalise capitalised on that one as well. So that is Craig down to 10th place, but lots of action going on into the Melbourne hairpin. Craig thinks about a move on DJ Phil. In the end, thinks better at that one. As we look up towards the front, we've got Emo Guy just behind this battle between Boostyn and McGlenn, and Boostyn's going to make this move on McGlenn into the Collards. Is he going to be able to hold that one? I think McGlenn's going to put it back up the inside of him. Boostyn's still there, and Boostyn pulls off a great move there up into the 6th place. Really nicely done there from him, and McGlenn in the end couldn't fight it anymore. Yeah, really good stuff there from him. As we see the whole
From
pack coming up towards Red Gates
on the start.
McGlenn goes really late on the brakes. Yeah, he goes wide though onto the grass.
Oh, Emo Guy lost.
No, Emo Guy off onto the grass on the inside of turn 1. He's going to have to let pretty much next to the whole field go by. He's down to the back of the pack. That has gone horribly wrong there for Emo Guy. He's in 13th place in the early stage of this race. Not the situation that he would have hoped for in any way, shape or form. But McGlenn just got ahead of...
and Emo Guy disconnected.
Phil's made a mistake. Oh no, Emo Guy's out of the race. I think he may have thrown in the towel there.
Whaleside has got the time penalty. 1 second. 1 second penalty for Whaleside now.
And he's not shaking off Darrell, is he? Darrell's sticking to the back of him, Sergey. Darrell's not letting Valeside run off with this one. These guys got up too far a little bit, but the Flying Dutchman, really good shout out to him, because he's not letting them completely drive off into the distance. He's still holding a very respectable 3rd place as Craig is fending off Boostyn right now. Boostyn looking at P5 in this one. So McGlenn goes wide there out of the Foggy S's. He loses paces to JM Brawl, Disco up the inside. DJ Phil also making the move as well as Disco, as looks like he's making amends for his opening lap carnage. Maze Gamer throwing one up the inside of DJ Phil. Bit of contact between those two. DJ Phil holding it around the outside of Melbourne hairpin up towards Goddard, and DJ Phil's going to have the inside and cover that one off from Maze Gamer. Maze Gamer going for a relay. Oh my goodness me! I think he's going to pull that one off on the exit of Goddard's. Craig is got onto the grass there. And trips down the back of the pack. They're taking it in turns to occupy the last place spot here. This is unbelievable racing in the opening few laps here at Donington, as we've now got McGlenn making the move up the inside of DJ Phil into turn 1. Has he made it stick? He has. Great stuff there from McGlenn, and Miguelito follows him through as well. It's Sorry, he didn't make the move. McGlenn went wide out. Phil holding on to the position, and Miguelito capitalising on that up into 10th place. So much action. It was Miguelito's wide out of the Prater curves. Oh, the reigning champion getting very loose there. That's McGlenn P10, and he's losing out there. Moves up into 11th place. There's action looking left, right and centre here right now, as Miguelito, the champion of last season, Sergey, is at the back of the field.
Yeah, he's done pretty well. It was a horrible start for him, and we see that it's a sprint race, almost only 20 minutes here, and I don't think that Miguelito will have any chances to be top 5, maybe somewhere near top 7, somewhere there. But yeah, it was a horrible start for him, and and this spot with
Craig and Miguelito, as Miguelito's trying to make his way back through. Miguelito very sportingly there, letting Craig get himself back together. Almost tagging in there. But fair play to Miguelito there. Sportsmanship awards for that one, as we can see McGlenn on the back of JM Brawl and DJ Phil. Maze Gamers managed to clear this pack of cars, and it's up into 7th place onto the back of Disco and Boostyn. That's the battle for 5th place that we see up ahead of him. Currently Maze Gamers setting his fastest lap of the race there. Can't get a move on Boostyn. Coming to Reggae, but Boostyn's wide there, and that's going to give Maze Gamer that opportunity, and he swoops down the inside. Did not need a second limitation, so that is Maze Gamer up into 6th place ahead of Boostyn. He can now try and chase down Disco in 5th, who's 15 seconds off of the leader at Railside. That has really cost Disco hand over fist in the first part of this race. That collision with Maze in turn 1 has dropped him way back off the leaders. He's made some great progress since then, but he's not where he would want to be in this race, that is for sure.
Yeah, so he made a contact on the first lap. On the first lap you need to be very concentrated in each race, and it's really hard to manage your car to not to be heated or not to hit another guy, and it's really hard to go out from the first corner or from the first lap without any damage to your car or without any losses of positions. But yeah, sometimes it's happened, but Disco Face, he made a good recovery, so he was on P13 and now he's up to P5, and he has got a clean air in front of him. Maybe he will do well and even overtake Fun Stop or Ugbar, as Ugbar has got a time penalty now, 1 second penalty. not so big, but maybe very crucial now. And Van Stopper sees that Bar has got the penalty, and maybe Van Stopper will be even faster now. He's showing a good job here. It is his debut in Tier 1, and he's doing really well now. Let's see where he will finish tonight.
Yeah. One thing about Van Stopper is that last up he was actually a second quicker than Ogbar, so he's definitely making a few gains on the Flying Dutchman, currently sitting third. And as you mentioned, Sergey, that penalty could come back to bite Ogbar on the bottom at a later point in this race. But Disco, as you said, also not too far off for these guys, starting to now get into a rhythm. Disco phase was faster than anybody out on track, aside from two leaders, Valeside and Darrell. So Disco getting into a groove. He's on a charge in this race. He feel like the podium has got away from him in this race, but he could still be in that top 3 once we get to the end of the race. We're watching this battle right now between Boostyn just ahead of DJ Phil on the ground.
Battle for the 8th race, but battle between 3 cars, and maybe it's a battle even for 7th place. James Hill, I think, made him new on Boostyn, and now DJ Phil was trying to overtake him, and let McLaren just gained 2 positions here, and Boostyn is into the wall. So Miguelito is now up to P9, and we see that DJ Phil allows Boostyn to go. It's a fair play from DJ Phil, but they both lost a lot of seconds here, and I don't think that they will fight for top 7, I think.
No, it's going to be very, very tricky indeed for those guys to get themselves back into the thick of it. But JM Grill is still got Disco just in front, and Disco has had a bit of a scruffy lap last time around. He lost about 7 seconds compared to Maze Gamer. So Maze Gamer's up into 5th, and JM Grill, we're getting all over the grass there on the exit of the Queen of Curves. He's going to lose out here to McLaren. Group up into 7th place. But JM Grill, they're having a little bit of a lapse of concentration there, running in 8th place. Disco, though, I'm surprised at him because he was running in P5, and I thought he'd be maybe setting his sights on closing in on Ogbar and Fun Stopper, but he's lost out to Maze Gamer, and Maze is now the man really on a charge in this race. Faster than anybody except Valeside on that last lap was Maze Gamer, and maybe Maze might even be in with a chance of getting himself onto the podium. Still a long way to go here in this sprint race, but he's on it for sure.
Yeah, it's not so much. I think it's not so much time left, so about only 10 minutes. But if Maze Gamer will be fast and consistent, he may be somewhere near the podium spots, and I can say that Maze Gamer now see Fun Stopper, and he know that Fun Stopper is not so far ahead, and he know that he may be faster, and he's faster on about 2 seconds from the last lap. And I think that Maze Gamer is really experienced driver here. He drove in motive racing in the previous season, and he was doing really well. So now maybe he will try to challenge Fun Stopper, who is a debutant here in Tier 1, and maybe there will be a battle between these guys for the 4th place, or even for the 3rd. But Ogbar is now doing really well.
Yeah, he is, and Ogbar's just keeping it consistent. As we said earlier, the penalty could end up haunting him once we get later on in the race, but Fun Stopper keeping him honest, keeping him within sight. Maze is also may use that experience to help him later on in this race as he continues to try and hunt them down. Clegg, though, really has in the back of Boostyn's battle for 11th, and DJ Phil, you just saw in the foreground there, getting really out of shape onto the grass. Gets a bit wide there coming up the hill. But at the moment, Clegg is looking to try and recover positions after the incident that we saw earlier on. Oh no, DJ Phil's wide.
DJ Phil made a mistake.
Yeah. And Clegg swoops up the inside and gains 2 places in one corner. Thank you very much, says as Boostyn and DJ Phil both getting out of shape, and Boostyn in the end makes the position up Phil despite making a mistake coming to the corner. Both of them going off in the same part of the track, and Boostyn there getting a slightly awkward run there coming through the foggy S's, but I don't think DJ Phil's going to be close enough to make the most of it coming into Melbourne hairpin. Oh no, he's going to lunge at the inside. DJ Phil goes really late on the brakes, covers the speed into the corner. What a fantastic move there, DJ Phil. That came from nowhere, Sergey. He just went absolutely fully full send on the brakes, and DJ Phil is up into 11th place, getting ahead of Boostyn. Great move from DJ Phil.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great move. So without any contact, very clean, and he done it. Great job. He used all the track limits.
This is coming back at him though. Oh, here we go. Back. Oh, look at this. Like he's doing a top in the rear deck with turn one, but he's not. He's completely. Well, I thought he missed it there, but Boostyn unable to come back at him. I thought he was going to move up the inside there. He went for a very small gap, and DJ Phil just closed the door on him. He was not allowing Boostyn in on a month of Sundays, was he? He just closed the door. And wow, this is great racing between these two. For 11th and 12th places, they're giving it everything tonight.
Yeah, for 11th place, so they continue battle and they continue to show us a great show. Thanks for these guys. So they don't fight for the top spots, for top 5 or even for podium, but they are showing a great battle for even 11th place, and that's why I love racing and sim racing. When you can see the battle all over the pack, it's great.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You just don't know where to look at any point. There's always something going on. As Miguelito's all over the back of McGlenn. This is the battle for 7th place. Miguelito has had a sketchy start to his title defense. So far, obviously, we're only 13 minutes into the season, but it's not really gone his way. He was down at the back of the pack, had a collision with Clegg earlier on. He's brought himself reasonably back into contention right now. He can sense this 7th place up ahead of him. We've got the Lamborghini of McGlenn doing a really good job tonight. Is McGlenn in his first appearance in Tier 1, has stepped up to the plate really, really impressively, and is currently trying to find a way through ahead of Miguelito's trying to find a way through ahead of him. Having the reigning champion of the GT3 division in your mirrors would be a daunting prospect for some, but McGlenn seems to be handling it pretty well, Sergey.
Yeah, McGlenn is now defending very good, but Donington is really overtakeable track, so you can overtake here. There are a lot of places where you can overtake your concurrent, and maybe Miguelito will make a maneuver on McGlenn. Even now, maybe he's now showing himself in the mirrors.
Having a look into the foggy S's, but at the moment McGlenn during his normal line, just holding his position really nicely.
I think Miguelito is now better on the exit and he's going to the inside line.
Oh, I think that he's going to be able to hold it around the outside. McGlenn is going to be close. He's got it. Oh, Miguelito moves across him a little bit, and he's going to back out of it there and let McGlenn continue on his. No, he's not. No, I think no. McGlenn's backed out of that one. Miguelito is up into 7th place. A little bit of argy-bargy there, but he can move himself up. He's a long way off of the leaders though, so that could be the summit of his expectations here. Maze is all over the back of front stopper. We expected this at some point. He was 2 seconds quicker on the previous lap. Oh no! He has to cut the inside.
And he's
lost completely. Maze into the barriers. Oh, he resets the car. We return to the track in P6. Drops him behind Disco with Disco Face, who's 8 seconds off of the back of Fun Stopper. But I think that's pretty much put a nail in Maze's hopes of getting himself on the podium with that little excursion onto the grass. And
Maze had a very good pace there, but he made a mistake, went 2 tires on the grass and lost the car into the barriers. So bad luck for Maze Gamer, but he's still in the race and he still may fight for the 5th place with Disco Face. It's still 5 more minutes left and about 3 laps, so all may happen here. Let's watch.
Let's see. Yeah, at the moment he's still got a bit of time in the race to bring himself back into contention, but the laps are winding down. Time is running out, and Valeside is continuing to set fastest sector times. Half a tenth quicker in the first sector. His last lap Valeside was a 127. 127. What?
In the race, 127. Unbelievable. And he got 2-second penalty, but Darrell is nowhere near him. As we saw on the first 3 laps, Darrell Exchanger was really near Valeside, but then Valeside just break this gap, extend this gap, and he's doing unbelievable, superb job here. But now
one man who I spoke to earlier in the week was Disco Face, and he said that he's able to do 128s in the race, maybe 127s, high 127s, low 128. in the race. Now, fingers crossed for this second race that Disco can get himself qualified up nice and high and can really take this fight to Valeside, because at the moment it's just looking like Valeside is going to run away with this championship. He seems to be on another level right now. His qualifying pace is top notch. His race pace is also as good as his qualifying pace. So let's hope that Disco's got a few tricks up his sleeve. Maze Gamer, we know, has gone quickly. Daryl has done his best, but he's been no match for Valeside in this sprint race.
Oh, DJPhil's in full gravel. He was doing good. Yeah, he was doing good in front of Boostyn here at the pace.
It's dropped him off for that battle with Boostyn, hasn't it? I think that's kind of given Boostyn that breathing space.
Yeah,
Gets a spin, gets onto the grass coming out of Coppice, and gets it pointed in the right direction. But DJPhil losing a lot of time there, and is now
we'll take DJPhil now.
DJPhil now running in solitary confinement in that P12, as we can see there. Valeside making his way through to put a lap there on DJPhil. Valeside's got a couple of laps left to go after this one that he's currently on. As you can see in the background, Daryl Exchanger not too far behind DJPhil, putting a lap on him. So Valeside though into Melbourne hairpin for the 12th time in this race. We're going to have 14 laps here for this sprint race, and Valeside's been on the planet tonight. He has not put a foot wrong since we started. Really great performance here tonight from Valeside.
Valeside has got a 3 second penalty, but he's doing better than Daryl Exchanger, and Daryl is not even closer.
I think we need Valeside to have a spin coming out of the last corner. Oh my goodness me! Daryl Exchanger! Wow! You know what I was about to say? I was about to say what we need is Valeside to bin it out of the last corner and go into pits. That's what we need Valeside to do in order to give us a race. And then just at that moment, Daryl almost does it. That's crazy. Yeah. That is crazy.
He was so near the pit lane now, and he's got a 2-second time penalty.
A whole new level.
2-second penalty.
About to mention, like, that's what we need Valeside to do, and Daryl almost does it. That's incredible stuff.
Yeah, and it's a chance to Ugba. Maybe he will be faster than Daryl, and he's got only 1 second penalty. Daryl has got 2 second penalty. Maybe it will be a close finish between them, as we can see that Ugba is faster than he was in the first sector. So maybe Ugba will be fast and will try to take Daryl Exchanger. But Funstopper is really near Ugba. It's about 2 seconds there, and we know that Ugba has got 1 second time penalty, and Funstopper knows about it, and he will try to take this final podium spot without any doubts in the race. Maybe he will be closer and closer, but it's only one lap left, and it will be really hard for Funstopper to do something with Ugba, but maybe he will do something there. As we can see that Rake is now trying to fight with Jim Crew, but no, he's slower here, and I don't think that he will take Jim Crew.
I think maybe the gap's a little bit too big between those two.
Interesting fact that only top guys has got second penalties in the race. So as we saw in the second tier, top 5 has got time penalty in the race, and in the first tier, only top 3 has got time penalty in the race. I wonder
what it is about faster drivers. They just seem to like cutting corners, don't they? It's the quick guys.
Yeah.
Who want to get every advantage that they can. But
push the limits. They're pushing the limits.
The Foggy S's. Yeah, coming into the Foggy S's for the final time is Valeside. He's going to take the opening race of the season. Took all but 2 of his appearances last season that he made in the Tier 1. Joined halfway through an Indy road course, raced 10 times, won 8 of those, and he's going to continue on in the vein of form that we saw in the back end of last season with the opening race of the season here at Donington. 20 seconds is gap to Daryl Exchanger. Rivals like Disco and Maze spun out early, which gave him a little bit of an easy run, but it's Valeside who crosses the line and takes their checkered flag. Round 1, race 1 goes to Valeside. Daryl Exchanger coming in towards Melbourne Hairpin now, and he's going to take a P2, a well-deserved haul of points here for Daryl Exchanger. He'd have hoped he'd been able to take the fight to Valeside. I believe a couple of mistakes in the later stages of the race may have
Ugba spawned.
Oh no, he spun himself off the podium.
Yeah,
Oh no.
he's down to P6
Oh,
in the last corner.
Funstopper's Daryl comes over to take a second place. Funstopper on his Tier 1 debut finishes in P3 ahead of Disco with Disco Face. Then we got Maze Gamer crossing the line in P5 ahead of this man Ogbar, who so unfortunate for him. He had the podium within his sights, but a little spin coming to a Melbourne hairpin put paid to that. Miguelito, the reigning champion, coming over in 7th place. Miguelito's father there, Pedro, saying in the comments, it's not about how it starts, it's about how it ends. Long season left to go for the reigning champion to get his act back together again. McGlenn coming over to take an 8th place. JM Gruhl will finish in 9th place. Here he comes into Goddard's now. Last season's Tier 2 champion. A decent haul of points. Not where he'd want to be though, I'm sure of that. Crosses over the line now. Craig coming in towards the final corner. Made a good start to this race to Craig, but it pretty much peaked in the early points. He's going to finish in 10th place here. Crosses over the line now. Boostyn a long way behind in 11th place classified, and DJ Phil in 12th. That is that then for the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. Vale setting a very, very, very strong message there to the rest of the drivers. His fastest lap though, not actually that superior to the other guys. Daryl Exchange's fastest lap only 0.4 off of Vale's side. Disco about a second off, and Maze Gamer not too far off as well. So if the other guys can be up there at the start and get some consistency going, I think we may be in for an exciting race. Vale's picking up a few penalties, that will definitely serve as a bit of a morale booster to those guys. They know that he's no stranger to picking up a few penalties along the way. So stage race will be live in about 5 minutes for the qualifying session. Don't go anywhere, grab a snack, grab a bevy, do what you got to do, and we'll be back in a moment.
it's sunset. Good sunset.
Yeah, it looks nice. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the second qualifying session for the Tier 1s here tonight at Donnnington Park. We had an interesting opening race to the season. Valeside looking very, very strong as predicted to get things going. But let's hope that we have a slightly closer qualifying session and race. We know that Maze Gamer, Disco Face, Dower Exchanger as well are definitely going to be contenders here. Hopefully we see them really give Valeside a bit of a fight here for this second race of the evening. We've also got MeltedDazzer back in the race after disconnecting early on in the sprint race. 12 cars out on track at the moment. We're expecting Jay and Brawl to be joining back in a few moments' time, so hopefully we will have the 13 cars that we're meant to have out on track tonight. But Sergey, the opening race, the sprint race is anything to go by. I'm sure we're in for a continued treat out on track tonight here for all these GT3s.
Yeah, it was a great opening race here tonight. Great sprint race. Yeah, there were some contacts, there were some collisions, but indeed it was a good race. Battles for positions all over the pack, and I hope that in the future race we will have these battles continue, and we will see these guys trying to make a perfect race and try to be as fast as possible, and trying to be on the top spots.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see how this one goes, but we're going to have a lot of drivers definitely contenders tonight, and obviously the nighttime conditions may make it a little bit more of an open thing in terms of, could definitely be Valeside's weakness, maybe a colder track. We'll have to see whether or not there's any kryptonite for our sprint race winner. But Emo Guy, I know that he's a driver who tends to go well in the nighttime conditions, and he always seems to step it up a notch when it gets dark. DJ Phil currently sat in the pits at the moment, still yet to get out on the track. Hopefully he gets out soon enough, because not too long to get a lap in, only 12 minutes in this qualifying session. You kind of got to be out there and on it pretty sharpish. But yeah, definitely going to be an exciting second race of the evening. Slightly longer than the sprint race, the feature race. It's almost double the distance, and a mandatory pit stop thrown in there as well. So you've got to come in, stop the car on its jacks for a few seconds, and then get going again. If you want to change your tyres, add a bit of fuel in, you're welcome to, but there's no rules that actually enforce that. You can just come in, stop the car, and go once again. There's no particular restrictions on what you can and what you can't do in the pit box. So it's very much up to the drivers how they run their strategy tonight. In the night time, tyre wear shouldn't be too much of an issue, so I would imagine the soft tyres could probably go the full distance if they're careful with them. As we see him coming over the line to do his first lap of the session, a 128.3 there, Sergey, not too bad.
Yeah, not bad, but we saw that Valeside is doing 26. So I think it won't be a problem for him. But yeah, for Guy it's not so bad, and if he will be in 27th, it will be really good, I think. And we see Funstopper 131.1 only. I think it was some kind of out lap, or the second warm-up lap, and it's Dream Cool now, and it was an out lap, then Double Exchanger. Oh no, not out lap, and he goes 131.1, and Ukba has done 128.7, 3/10 off Emo Guy now. Emo Guy is currently sitting on the provisional pole. And then Clegg, he just exits the last corner slowly and goes P5 only. Then Maze Gamer, I think it was, and it was an outlaw for him. Valeside goes 128.1, not so fast for him, only 2/10 off Emo Guy. Maybe, as you've said, Andy, in the night, in the evening conditions, it's really hard for him to drive on colder track. Let's see, it will be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope that he at least struggles a little bit in the evenings, because he needs to struggle for us to have a race on here for the winners. We see Miguelito, the reigning champion, had a poor sprint race. Let's see how he can pick himself up. Goes P4 for now, a little way off for the fastest time, being set by Valeside. Disco Face is just coming through the middle part of the lap. We've got Funstopper exiting Goddard. What can he do? Took a podium in his first race here in the Tier 1s a few moments ago. What's he able to do at the start of the session? Stays P6 for now. Can't improve. JM Gruhl still yet to do a lap. This is his first flying lap of the session. What is he able to do here? He crosses over the line now. And P4 for JM Gruhl. Very nicely done. Very impressive stuff there indeed. Oakbar comes over, can't improve, 500ths off of his personal best, stays in P3 for now. McGlenn sat in the pits, he's not going to improve his lap time from there, that's for sure. We've got...
yeah, he don't have even a lap time, so... and now he's going off the pit lane, and now he will have some laps here. Let's watch what Disco Face will do. It's an interesting one to watch. He's currently on P11, but it was a second warm-up lap. Oh, I think it was a small spin there from him in the last corner. Let's watch.
Here he comes over the line now, and Disco stays in P12.
Good luck.
Yeah, no,
he's going to P3.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong... Sorry. I don't know what I was looking at there.
He's
coming up an Oakbar.
Needs to be careful.
Oakbar needs to move out of the way, and he does so very nicely. Emo Guy.
Let's watch Emo Guy.
What can he do? He's got a slipstream with Miguelito in front of him, and he stays in P2. Yeah, Emo Guy unable to move up there, stays provisionally on the front row of the grid. Fun stopper. What is he able to do out of Goddard's now? Podium finish up in the first race of the season, comes over, stays. Oh, moves up to P7 there.
Yeah. Yeah, but James Gruhl is currently on P6, and James Gruhl a lot faster than Funstopper. I think Funstopper will make some additions to the car, maybe change its setup, and goes up to another try. And I think Darrell Exchange just now went up to P4 now. Not so bad for him, only half second off Whaleside now. And let's watch Whaleside. Where is he? He's in the last part of the corner. He will now be in the second hairpin. Yeah, the last corner. Let's watch. Oh, Maze Gamer went great, but not enough to be on pole now. But what Whaleside will do. And it goes unbelievably fast.
Wow, again, it's showing that the nighttime conditions are showing absolutely no drawbacks whatsoever for Whaleside. Disco comes up towards the line. What can he do? He can't improve. He stays in fourth for now. 128s for everyone except Whaleside, who's in the 126s. What can Emo Guy do? Can he get himself into 127s maybe? I know that he's capable of getting the best out of this GTR. Up towards the line now. What is it going to be for the Flying Scotsman? He can't improve. He's 3/10 off of his personal best. 2 seconds off of the fastest time being set by Whaleside. Clegg coming through the middle sector. We've got Boostyn in towards the final couple of corners now. What is our American driver going to be able to do here? Onto the brakes, into Goddard, gets it nicely stopped. Gets a good exit out of the corner as well. Let's see what he's able to put on the board here. Up towards the line, and Boostyn stays in P12 for now. McGlenn in towards the Foggy S's. You can see there in the background of we got here's Maze Gamer currently coming through Melbourne hairpin up towards the final few corners of this lap. He's the one who's best of the rest at the moment. Second place, 1.3 seconds off of Whaleside's fastest time. Can he get himself a little bit closer to maybe into the 127s? No.
So a big group of cars now. We'll set the lap time. Disco, let's watch him. Funstopper goes on to Raz right in front of him, and he improves. He goes P2 now, but he's really far behind from Whaleside. It's more than 1 second with them.
Yeah, it's still not where Disco wants to be. I know he can definitely get in the low 127s if he really hooks it up.
Maybe Emo Guy will do something here. Nope, no improvements. Cool.
So Miguelito still out there on a lap, reigning champion of this GT3 division. Miguelito, let's see what he's up to. He's just coming through the middle part of the lap. Darrell Exchanger came P2 in the sprint race. Kept Whaleside honest early on, but then dropped off of him in the later part of the race. Let's see if he can find a bit of time here. He's currently sat in 5th. Surely this is going to be an improvement for Darrell. Crosses the line. No, there's an outlap there for Darrell. Rider stays in 7th place. The track seems to be slowing down a bit. Nobody's really on any improvements at this point. Maybe they've all hit their limit except McGlenn. McGlenn's on a faster lap.
McGlenn, yeah.
Can he get himself in the top 5 maybe, get himself in amongst it? Oh, gets a little bit of a wiggle coming out of that second to last corner. What's he able to do here as he comes in towards the final corner now? Is McGlenn going to be able to get himself up the sharp end of the grid for this feature race? He crosses the line now, and McGlenn goes P9, improves his lap time by a little bit, but not well enough to get himself up in the sharp end of the grid, so it's not, unfortunately, for him. The front stopper out of the last corner. What is he going to do? Disco in the foreground, improved to a 1:27.9, and front stopper stays in P10 for now.
Did I feel no improvements? Let's watch Miguelito. No, I think it was an outlap here.
Yeah, Miguelito didn't improve on that particular run. Daryl Exchanger coming through the foggy S's. Did he invalidate his lap time though, maybe? He's 4 tenths down. He's 4 tenths down on his personal best. Oh, it's not going to be improvement for him. James Grill coming into the connector just behind him at the moment. He looks like he's trying to get the best out of that car. He will be held up a little bit by Darren in front of him. It's unlikely to be an absolute stonker here for either of this pair. As you see in the background there's someone else just behind them, but they're coming out of the last corner. What are either of these two going to do? Darren or James Grill? They cross over the line, and James Grill pushes down. Yeah, great lap there. As Emo crosses the line on his outlap to start another lap. Opa currently sat in 7th place at the moment. McGlenn coming in towards the Melbourne hairpin now. He's 2 seconds off of his personal best, and this is not going to be an improvement. Darryl in the pits, maybe making some adjustments before we get to the end of this session. Possibly there's a couple of tweaks that he wants to make in order to try and get the best out of that car and maybe get himself on the front row like he was in the first qualifying session. Front stopper coming in towards the tail end of this lap now. He's 3.5 seconds off of the pace, down in 10th place, but we know he goes well in the races. Onto the brakes, coming out of the last corner here. Let's see if he's able to get himself in the top 5 maybe. He crosses the line now in the Ferrari, and it's not an improvement for front stopper, stays in P10.
So who will be next to cross the line here? It's Miguelito, yeah, and Miguelito goes P2.
Oh, look at that.
Miguelito. Yeah. He found pace there, and but he's still 1 second off whale side. No one can overtake this guy without any trick here.
Got Boostyn 7 tenths up. Oh, as you see, May's getting all over the gaff there in the background, coming out foggy S's up towards Melbourne hairpin. Boostyn though is got 1 corner left to go here on this lap. He's just behind the Mercedes of Clegg. What is Boostyn going to be able to put on the board here? He gets onto the power out of the last corner. Can he get himself in the top 10 maybe, improve his lap time by a little bit? Oh, P12 there for Boostyn. Stays in at 12th position for the time being. May's game is going to do a not for a great lap time because he had a moment coming out of the foggy S's. Disco face crosses the line and he can't improve. He remains in 3rd place on a 1:27. Miguelito and Disco both in the 27s. I'm surprised that Mays hasn't got himself there yet. He'll have a couple more runs in this session. Fun stopper still sat in P10. Can he move himself up the order a little bit? Out of the last corner now in the number 53 Ferrari. What's this going to be for Fun stopper? Minimising his distance to the line. And he goes P9.
P9, yeah.
Pushes McGlenn down the place.
McGlenn. Yep, and he jumped into the pits. And let's watch what DJPhil will do here. Left eye.
No, not on that one, unfortunately. Yeah, it must have been.
It was an outlap.
So Daryl currently out there at the moment in 8th place. Surprising to see Daryl Exchanger so far down the grid. With the first race that he had, he was up in 2nd, qualified up high as well. Valeside does a lap, which would be good enough for 2nd place if he wasn't on pole. But Emo guy coming in towards the final corner now. What is he going to be able to put on the board here? He will have a bit of a tow from these guys up ahead of him. Not mega though. Let's see what Emo guy can do. He crosses over the line. Stays P5. 3 tenths off his personal best, unfortunately for him.
Maze Gamer
coming into the final corner. What is he going to be able to do? He gets his foot on the gas up towards the line. Maze Gamer, no. What about Disco? No.
Nothing. Yeah, but they will have another. Yeah, they will have another lap, and maybe they will be faster there. But Daryl Exchanger. And P8.
I know, it's surprising to see Daryl in the position that he's in here in this qualifying session. Very, very much of a head scratcher there because I was expecting it to be up there or thereabouts, but just hasn't really fallen for him really in this session. Time's up, so this is Daryl's last chance. What is he going to be able to do? Can he get himself on the front 2 rows maybe? No. Daryl Exchange has had a horrible session. Down in 8th place for him. DJ Phil crosses the line. Stays P11, doesn't improve. Craig's coming in towards the final couple of corners now, and he has got somebody right behind him there. That is
Whaleside goes in faster.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this guy is unbelievably quick.
Yeah.
Where's he getting these times from? This is out of this world. As we can see, Craig coming out of the final corner now. He's got oh my goodness
goes
me.
P11.
Yeah,
but no improvements. No improvements.
No.
So I think that MazeGamer and Disco.
It's all on these two. Yeah, MazeGamer coming out of Goddard's. Is he going to be able to get himself ahead of Miguelito on the front row? Maybe.
A little improvement.
Disco,
and Disco goes P2.
Disco goes up. What was his time? Did he get close to Velside?
27.5.
Very nice up there from Disco at the end. Still 1.1 seconds off of the pole time being set by Velside, but at least somebody's on the same planet. Velside in this session, so it's Velside starting on pole position ahead of Disco Face, Miguelito and MazeGamer on the second row, Emo Guy and Opal behind them, JM Gold, Darryl Exchange, Funstopper and McLean rounding out the top 10, and then we're going to have Craig, DJ Phil and Boostyn rounding out the grid. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go for the feature race. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to come in second behind Velside. I'm joking. Honestly,
yeah.
Unless Disco, Disco's got good race pace. I'm kind of banking on Disco using that pace that he's spoken about. I've spoken to him a little bit over the course of this week, and he reckons he can do 27s, 28s in the race. So we need Disco to really go all out and take this fight to Velside in this race. The reigning champion Miguelito just behind them on the second row with Maze alongside him. We know that those two are no slouch, so let's hope we can have an exciting race here and maybe someone get ahead of Velside into turn 1 and try and defend for their life. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, for sure. Because if Velside will be first out of the first corner, he will be first for the whole race, I think. He's really consistent here in Project Cars. I didn't even saw his mistake. So I saw that he's doing very consistent and fast laps in the race. So there are some guys who's doing a great qualification, but in the race they are not so fast. But it's not for him. It's not about him. It's not about Velside. He's very fast, even in quali and in the race. But let's watch. Maybe Disco will grab this first place in the first corner and will try to be there till the end of the race. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be exciting to see Disco take this fight, and we know that he's a much quicker driver in the race than he is in the qualifying session. He's a consistent driver, is Disco. You can always bank on him, usually keeping the car pointing in the right direction unless he gets taken out or crushed into. So let's hope that he can keep it clean through the first couple of corners. Let's hope that MazeGamer isn't going to be too aggressive at the start. We know that Maze is a much improved driver as of late, and I'm not sure what the incident happened between Disco and Maze or whose fault that was. I don't want to apportion blame, but we'll have to find out after the race when the Stewart inquiries come in. Here we go though. We are about to go racing here for the second race of the Tier 1's feature race here at Donnnington Park, and it's lights out and away we go. Great start, Disco, there we go. Straight up into the lead of the race here. Disco Face is your leader. Velside tucked in second place. Miguelito and Maze staying as you were into turn 1, but a great start there from Disco Face, and he is P1 right now. MazeGamer's had a bit of a mare there. He's down to the back of the pack already. I don't know, hold on. No, he's not. He's in third. I don't know. That was the tunnel screen there glitching out. So MazeGamer's still in third, just behind them. Velside though, sticking to the back of Disco. There's Miguelito down to 4th place, been jumped by MazeGamer. Even go out into 5th. Great start there from him. Oh god, Darryl Exchanger. Coming out the trainer curves, big crash there. Darryl Exchanger and Craig both involved.
Craig,
as well. Oh no, those three cars all in dire straits here on the opening lap of this race. Disco Face though is your race leader on lap 1 of this race. What a start there. He got the perfect jump off the line, and he really needed that, Sergey, to take this fight to Valeside.
Yeah, and MazeGamer now will try to be out there for this fight for the first place. Oh, so near the contact there between these guys,
so well there, closing the door and not allowing Valeside to slip up the inside. Maze waiting in the wings.
MazeGamer, trying to do it.
Oh my god!
And he's done it.
Valeside. It's now Disco and Maze 1-2. Valeside down to 3rd place already. Up against it here in this feature race. But this race has been blown wide open already. Emo Guy up into 4th place. Great to see him putting it up there. Miguelito's had a horror show of an opening lap though, down in 10th place here as they're coming out of the last quarter.
Place now.
Boostyn, yeah, he's just behind Daryl Exchanger. Daryl's managed to get himself back up into 6th, and somebody's spun in the background. McGlenn's round out the last corner. He's onto the grass there, and he'll lose out to Miguelito and Craig. But Valeside down to 3rd place, the pole sitter, the man who was looked unbeatable in the qualifying session, now running in 3rd place behind Disco and Disco Face and MazeGamer. And also, interestingly, the two that came together in turn 1 lap 1 race, Disco and Maze running 1-2, and Maze really putting the pressure on Disco right now.
Yeah, they're going, this top 3 is going really fast now. Emo Guys 3 seconds off them, but we see that Emo Guy is really close to them. Yeah, so Jim Grohl is behind him, but then we have Daryl Exchanger 8 seconds behind Disco Face, and Boostyn, who's got a great start as in sprint race. Then Miguelito, horrible start, and Valeside,
Oh my goodness, the runaway winner in the sprint race and pole sitter for this feature race. Valeside is in the wall coming out of the foggy S's, and that's Boostyn up into 6th place. So Emo Guy up into 3rd. JM Bill, Daryl, Boostyn all gaining positions. That is unbelievable scenes here. Not only is he lost place to start, he's down into 7th place. This race could not
MazeGamer is the leader of the race now.
Oh wow! I wonder maybe if Disco and Valeside may have had an incident, but MazeGamer now the race leader here on lap 3 here at Donington. Valeside into the inside of Boostyn coming in towards RaKiMaJe, and it looks like Boostyn leaves the door open. Did not fight that one too hard.
Yeah.
He knows that Valeside is going to be coming at him, and Valeside picks up another position up into 6th place. But wow! Emo Guy's into 2nd, and Disco
lost it. He lost it.
Oh my goodness, Disco's off onto the grass. So Disco
and Valeside
doesn't have an incident in the opening part of the race.
Valeside overtook him.
Oh my gosh. Those two have an incident a lap apart in the same part of the track, and all of a sudden MazeGamer with the lead of the race, but Emo Guy running in 2nd place, only 1.6 seconds behind MazeGamer. This race has been blown wide open.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable start of the race, and it means that the whole race will be very interesting. We'll watch how Valeside and Disco will make the way through, and Valeside has got a 1 second time penalty here. So yeah, it will be very interesting to watch where Valeside and Disco Face will be at the finish of the race. But yeah, Valeside, I think now he's really angry for himself or for Disco Face if they had a bit of a contact, but we know Valeside is really fast. We know that he can be consistent, and he will try to be as far as he will try to drive as better as possible. And now we see that he's behind Daryl and he's only 10 seconds behind the leader, who is currently MazeGamer. So all may happen here, and we see that Daryl is going onto the grass, and we see that Valeside is really close to him now, and it's about only 1 second between them. So Valeside is really fast, and he may be consistent. I think that we'll see that he will do a great lap times here. And Disco, I think, made another mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Disco's dropped way back now. He's down in 8th place, and Miguelito's got ahead of Boostyn. But Boostyn's going to try and go back around the outside of Coppice. And they're still side by side, and Boostyn does hold on to that P6 for the time being, but Disco's dropped behind both of them now, as Daryl and Veilslide both with a 1 second penalty apiece in towards the Foggy S's. Looks like Boostyn is going to hold that one off ahead of Miguelito. Miguelito in the second race of this season, we saw him struggling in the first race, and he's continuing to not really be in the positions that he'd want to be in right now. He's over 16 seconds left on the leader. Maze Gamer with Daryl and Veilslide. Looks like Veilside's got that one done into Goddard's and up into
and there is James Bruno. He's on P3 then. I've lost this. I thought that James Bruno.
He's really stepped up, hasn't he, in this race? He's just made the most of everybody else who's been having problems, making mistakes, and he's just been driving a good, consistent race so far. Basically doing what DeedeeTKU was doing in this Tier 2 race.
Yeah, for sure. And Jim Gruhl shown that he's the champion of Tier 2. Oh, he made a mistake. He went really slow out of the corner. And it allows Veilslide to be up to P3 now. And he will have a clean air right in front of him, and only Emo Guy who is separating him and the Maze Gamer now. And Daryl lost another Daryl Exchanger. James Gruhl overtook Daryl Exchanger. So there's a battle between these two Mercedes for the 4th place. And Miguelito still can't overtake Boostyn here.
And a little look coming into Coppice, and Boostyn's wide, and that's going to give Miguelito that opportunity. Gets on the power a little bit earlier. It's a nice circuit out of the corner, and McLaren is ahead of the Porsche up into 7th place.
I think that Boostyn will try to counter-attack here, maybe, but no,
Miguelito's got that one done
very fast.
Unless he makes another mistake. Ogbar's down. Oh no! Coming out of the. Coming from the Foggy S's. McGlenn will be coming up on the scene shortly. Ogbar was actually right behind that battle between Miguelito and Boostyn. Now Craig is up ahead of Ogbar, up into 9th place, and Ogbar will find himself open to an attack from McGlenn probably shortly if he continues to make mistakes here in this race. In the meantime, Disco Face, the man who led the race at the end of the first lap, who had it given to him on a plate by Veilslide after Veilslide made a poor start, now down in
Disco made a mistake.
Everybody seems to be losing control of the car. You know what this is, Sergey? It's the nighttime conditions. It's the colder track temperature. It's catching everybody out. All those who race on the hard tyres are now really struggling because the track is colder, and for those who race regularly on the hards, they're now kind of getting found out a little bit. Those who rely on the soft tyres, drivers like Maze Gamer, like Emo Guy, are absolutely reveling in these colder track conditions right now. That was a cut for him on the floor, but at the moment Disco is trying to get up onto the back of Miguelito, but he's lost the position. In fact, Miguelito's got ahead of Disco up into 6th place.
Yeah, Miguelito has done this maneuver, but it's not a good race for our champion, our GT3 Tier 1 champion now. He's 22 seconds off the leader now, but he will try to make his best. We know that Miguelito can be consistent, and maybe he'll hope that guys from top 5 will make any mistakes. Even on the pit lane, maybe they will lose the pit window, or maybe something like that. All may happen here. And Daryl Exchanger is now trying to overtake Jim Gruhl now. He's about 1 second behind him, and it's really close call between these two guys.
Yeah, he's all over him as they come down towards the Craners, and I wonder if he's going to be considering making a move in a few moments' time. Jim Gruhl obviously dropped off the podium with Veilslide making good positions up, and he gets a great exit there. Does Daryl? He's going to have that move done, I think, pretty comfortably. Breezes past James Gruhl up into 4th place. James Gruhl not fighting that one too hard. That's another position for Daryl, and he's only 12 seconds off for the lead. And if he's on the right tyres, if he's on the softs, I reckon he could be a force to be reckoned with. So he's definitely got the pace over Emo Guy, and possibly could be able to close in on Maze. Still a long way to go in this race. Only lap 7 of 25. We've got 18 laps left to go in this race. Still early doors, and anything can happen. But Veilslide continuing to reel in Maze and Emo Guy. Looks like he's got those tyres up nicely up to temperature now. So good.
Yeah, I think he found it. He found the temperature of the tires, and now he's showing us his consistency, that he can be very fast, and it's now only 4 or 5 seconds between him and Maze Gamer. As we see something is standing on the track now. Yeah, and we see that on the last lap he was faster than Maze Gamer on 2 seconds. He was 2 seconds faster than Maze Gamer. And I think that he may face some problems only when he will try to overtake Imogai. Maybe only in this case he will face any problems. Oh, as he went really wide,
Yeah, he's not immune to the overtake either as well, so we'll see it there. But yeah, you're right, Imogai is no pushover, that is for sure. Imogai is never going to give up a position willy-nilly. He'll fight it tooth and nail. He's got a podium spot certainly on the line here as Darrell's continuing to reel in these leaders also. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a case of Valeside's going to want to clear Imogai with the least amount of fuss and hassle required. Ogbar's still running in 10th place. He's just ahead of just behind Boostyn even at the moment. This is for 9th. These guys are well off the back of Disco and Craig at the moment, and they're a couple of seconds ahead of McGlenn. That's DJPhil's dropped out of it.
Mistake.
Oh no! There was Oh, he's only about 5 seconds ahead of Craig now. Craig will be reeling him in, that is for sure. So he's coming in towards the Foggy S, and now you see Craig in the background in that AMG. As General cuts the Foggy S is massively there. He's definitely going to get a slowdown penalty for that. There is Craig, only about 3-4 seconds behind him now. So this is playing into Craig's hands a little bit in this particular battle. And also you can see the headlights of Ogbar and McGlenn in the background as they're coming into the Foggy S's just there. But yeah, it's not ideal at all for JM Brawl. Disco also struggling. Look at this. He's fallen off the back of Miguelito by quite a lot. He's also picked up a penalty as well, a 1 second time penalty for Disco face. He's struggling in this race.
He's really struggling, but he's shown a great start, and he was driving on the first place, but then Maze Game overtook him, and then he made a mistake and lost the car completely, and all went wrong for him. But he's still in the race, and maybe he'll try to fight for the 5th place with Miguelito. But yeah, Disco don't feel relaxed here in this race. It's really hard to him to manage the car in these night conditions.
He's struggling to settle down, I think, a little bit. Front bumper hanging off, not that that matters. It's official damage only in this GT3 series here at Commentators. Watching Valeside continuing to take chunks out of the leaders. Maze Gamer and Imogai, you can see them in front of him. He's now breathing down the neck of Imogai as we're coming over the line now to start lap 10 of this race. Valeside looking very much in striking distance in order to pick up a P2 here in this race. This is going to get very, very exciting indeed, as we're not even halfway through this race, and Valeside has just done a really solid job. In fact, more than solid, he's been quite remarkable actually, how he's come back into this race. From the start of the race that he had, to be now only 3 seconds up with the leader. But do we expect anything less from this man? The pace that we've seen in qualifying, the dominance that he's exerted over them in the sprint races, also the fact that he took 8 out of the 10 races that he raced in last season. I mean, it's no surprise what we're seeing right now. He's just seems like he's a level above these guys, honestly.
Yeah, he's in his own tier, as you can say. Yeah, he's really fast, and he's really consistent. Oh, and I think Maze Gamer just cut at the corner there. Cut at the chicane.
He got a big moment on there, didn't he? That's allowed Imogai very, very close up onto the back of Maze right now. But Valeside waiting in the wings, waiting to pounce, watching these two in front of him, just waiting for the right moment to go for the killer blow as we see Maze really wide through Donninton. Gets it stopped, gets it back on the track. Oh, I thought he was going to go wide there.
And Valeside pits.
Yeah, he makes his mandatory pit stop at the end of lap 10. Obviously the pit window opened on lap 8, but he's brought it in and he's in the box right now. Let's see what sort of pit stop
he lost some time.
Yeah, he lost 5 seconds.
because he was in the pits and mechanics weren't there, and he lost about 3 or 4 seconds, I think.
Do you reckon he was in the pits for about 8-9 seconds there?
Yeah, so I think that he lost about 5 or somewhere there, 5 seconds in the pits, because his pit stop was really right after the enter, right after the pit enter, and mechanics weren't there. So he needed to stay for some seconds there, and it may lead to the losing of positions and losing of
Absolute
cycles.
disaster there for Valeside, obviously miscalculating or maybe not being aware of the very, very short pit lane at Donington, and his pit box right at the start of the pit lane, so his mechanics didn't realise he was coming in. He failed to let them know before he was coming in that he would be there, so that has cost him a little bit of time, and could that bite him where it hurts once we get to the end of this race? Still a long way to go. He's got time to make sure that it doesn't affect him. Days in the pit. Yeah, that's released EmozGuy into the lead of the race. That was my controller hitting the floor. But again, look, his mechanics weren't ready for him. Same scenario.
Yeah, so he lost some time too, and let's watch where is Valeside. He's right behind Nickthevilla. Where is Maze? Maze is now exiting the pits.
He's done it. He's done it. Oh, has he done? Oh my God! No.
Yeah, Valeside in front of Maze.
He's got the jump, but he's going to have to negotiate Miguelito here as a side-by-side down Hollywood. I think that he's going to have that one done there. So that is Valeside up ahead of Miguelito, and now Maze is going to contend with Miguelito. He goes straight on over the crane of curves. Oh my God! All over the grass. Does he hold it? He does. Oh my goodness me! Maze game must have been so close there to stepping out, but he's going to be behind Miguelito, and that's cost him hand over fist. EmozGuy though, leading this race, needs to pull the trigger now if he doesn't want to get jumped by Valeside. He needs to come in, otherwise Valeside will emerge in this race lead. EmozGuy has to come in now, otherwise he's playing himself out of contention for this race win, in my opinion, Sergey.
Yeah, I think so too. He needs to jump to the pits right now. I don't think that he knows that Valeside made a mistake. Not Valeside, but he had problems in the pit lane. But I think that EmozGuy should go now. And
There he is. Yep, he's pulling the trigger. He's pulling the trigger, flashing the lights there, obviously thanking us for letting him know. Let's hope that he's got his pit crew ready. There we go, look, they're ready in time. Yep, they're nice and ready for him. So that is EmozGuy into the box. Valeside is going to be coming in towards the final sector of the lap right now. Great stop there from EmozGuy, off and away in no time at all. Where is Valeside? Valeside's coming down the start finish. Oh my goodness, I think he's going to do it. Valeside's going to get the Valeside leads the race. He's played an absolute blinder there in a pit stop strategy, and EmozGuy comes out behind Maze Gamer and Miguelito. Valeside, the true winner in these pit stop strategies. Half of the race left to go. He's back in the lead of the race from pole position. He's back where he will feel he belongs, and I can't see anybody getting ahead of Valeside before the end of this race. I think he's now going to just manage this one from the front.
Intrigue just dead now. We don't have any intrigue in the race. If you consider the first place, the top spot, and I think that Valeside won't make any mistakes that we saw on the start when he was into the wall. I think he won't make such mistakes, and now we see that EmozGuy is really close to Miguelito, and maybe he'll try to make a maneuver here. No.
No, not just at the minute. But EmozGuy will be a bit frustrated with that, because he had the lead of the race and he didn't really put a foot wrong on that line.
Miguelito
outpaced.
went wide.
Yeah, Miguelito goes deep. EmozGuy will slip up the inside and up into fourth place, but EmozGuy will feel like he did nothing wrong there in terms of his strategy. He stayed out for a lap, came in at the end of his in lap, but I think Valeside just is too quick, isn't he? He just really got the hammer down in those laps out of the pits, and there's nothing that EmozGuy could have done to cover him off. And it ended up coming out behind Maze as well. But he's got ahead of Miguelito into some clean air. Miguelito, last season's champion, not having the title defence he would have hoped for. Maybe Donington might be a bit of a bogey track for him. because he hasn't really performed to the level that we've come to expect off of him over these last few seasons. But JM crawls in the pits to make his pit stop, as we see there just in front of him. That is also DJ Phil making his stop as well.
Yeah.
But Opar doing his personal best in the middle sector there on this particular lap, and he's not too far behind. Hold on. Oh no, he is actually quite a long way behind. He's
McLaren
2 seconds ahead of McLaren.
Far behind. Yeah, McLaren is not so far behind. But,
yeah, that's
maybe
definitely what I was trying to say. As DJ Phil's out of the race, Sergey, no! DJ Phil's retired. Oh, yeah. Opar does his fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 31.1. As Craig is on the back of Darrell Exchange, and this is the fight for 5th place. Has Darrell just made that move on Craig up into 5th? I'm not sure.
No, I think that Craig was behind him and not behind him too. And it's a battle for P5 now.
Yeah, he's coasting a little bit on Darrell Exchange. Darrell's going to be wary of Craig in his rearview mirrors. Miguelito's coming into the pits and getting his pit stop done and out of the way on lap 14. Velside though has got a 4-second lead here over Maze Gamer, and he looks like he's putting out that gap. Maze, I don't know whether he picked up a penalty on the last lap, because it says that he was 3 seconds slower than Velside even. But from what I can see, he hasn't dropped off of him by that much. So maybe Maze Gamer's got a time penalty to worry about. Maybe he'll have to have that added on to his race time once we get to the checkered flag. Disco Face coming out of the pits in P7, not the feature race that he would have been wanting, as Maze Gamer goes round the outside of a lap car there. That's Boostyn getting well out of the way, and Maze continuing on his way, but 4.5 seconds off for the race leader Velside at this point. Craig and Miguelito still pretty close on the track. Craig's got ahead of Miguelito, Sergey, up into 5th.
Oh yeah, Miguelito was in the pits. Miguelito was in the pit lane, and because of that, Craig is up to 1 place, because Craig was right behind Darrell, and Darrell is now 3 seconds off Craig. But Miguelito lost position because he was in the pits, but Craig wasn't in the pits, or was in the pits earlier.
So Darrell was pulled out a bit of a gap there to Miguelito, to Craig, sorry. But Miguelito looking to the outside here of Craig, coming up towards the Melbourne hairpin. Is he going to go around the long way here? He's going to send him around the difficult, the scenic route, and I think that Craig's still going to try and hold it, but Miguelito will have the inside for Goddard. They are still side by side. I think that he's got that one done. Miguelito is up into 5th place, and Craig didn't fight that one too hard in the end. These two have got Disco waiting behind them, so Disco will definitely be wanting to feast on these scraps if he can, hopefully possibly can, get involved in this action as they're coming over the line now to complete that 10 laps left to go here in this feature race. Velside leads it, Maze in second, and Emo Guy driving a brilliant race, currently sat in the final podium spot in the Nissan GTR. It's been a great performance so far from Emo Guy. He needs to keep his head together and keep doing what he's doing, and he'll be on for a great haul of points. Runner-up in this GT3 League 2 seasons ago when he was driving in the Lamborghini, and he seems to be pretty talented in this Nissan GTR as well, as we're seeing Craig right now still sticking to the back of... Well, no, he's dropped off of Velside quite a bit actually. Sorry, Miguelito, not Velside.
Miguelito made a mistake.
Oh no, he's gone really wide there.
Disco. Oh, Disco is really near Miguelito, but no, Disco couldn't make a maneuver there, but Miguelito is really struggling today. Our champion of the previous season here in Tier 1. He's really struggling, but he continues to drive.
Disco all over the grass. No! Oh, he's pinned it.
Oh, he touched the wall.
Oh, Disco race has gone from bad to worse. He's left the session.
He left the session. Oh, that is so unfortunate there. Disco out of the race here on lap 16 of this one. It's all gone horribly pear-shaped there, as Miguelito is currently on the back of Craig here, fighting for 5th place. Craig coming into the pits. Yeah, I know.
Oh man, that's absolutely gut-wrenching there for Disco. It really hasn't gone to plan tonight. The first race he had that incident with Maze. They both spun off and lost a bit of time, and in this feature race, I think the nighttime conditions have gone against him, because Disco is one of those drivers who likes to race on the hard tyres. He prefers the predictability of the hards over the softs, and ultimately in these conditions, with the track temperature being so cold, it just hasn't paid off for him tonight. Hopefully next time he will be back stronger than ever. Funstopper is out. Funstopper didn't start the race. Funstopper was already up.
He was in the pits. He won't. Yeah, he just forgot to tap this button to ready up, and he's in the pits for the whole race. I don't know if he will receive points or not for that, but he's still in the lobby and still in the pit lane.
Yeah, very possibly indeed. We can see here Oakbar is currently sitting 8th. He's still a couple of seconds ahead of McGlenn at the moment. Only 3 seconds behind Craig, so it's definitely a possibility that Oakbar could get involved in some incidents, or not incidents, action racing before the end of this race. Boostyn currently running in 10th place right now, but that is the Lamborghini of McGlenn currently running in 9th place. Goes really wide there though, coming out of that corner. It's all over the gravel, up the hill into Coppice. It's dropped him off the back of Oakbar a little bit, and maybe given Oakbar just that little bit of respite that he would have been hoping for in that battle. But he's still trying to reel in Craig for 7th place if he can. Is he going to be able to catch him before the end though? 8 laps left to go in this race. Bellside onto lap 18. Currently got 8 seconds over Maze Gamer. The top two currently separated by 8 seconds. Bellside continues to pull out that gap. And Emo Guy is noticing.
Bellside goes even faster than the fastest lap time. I think it can be a purple lap for him.
I think
somewhere near 127.3 or something like that. 127.5 maybe.
Yeah, possibly. It could be an absolute stonker here from Valeside. Emo Guy is closing in a little bit on Maze Game at 1.5 seconds from the last lap, but he doesn't improve. 400th off of his personal best there from Valeside. So close there to doing another personal best. His personal best still at 27.8. But Emo Guy starting to get the laps in, although having said that, Maze Game responded that last time around at 128.9. Emo Guy crosses the line 129.7 for him. Yeah, so Maze Gamer looks like he's starting to respond to that pace from Emo Guy now. 3.5 seconds separating those two in the battle for 4th second. Daryl Exchanger running around in 4th place. He's got 5 seconds back to the reigning champion Miguelito as he crosses the line now to start lap 19 of the race. Couple of tenths down on his personal best on that last lap. Miguelito is running in P5. He's just put a lap there on Boostyn, and he's well off of his personal best on that last lap.
Ugba is struggling. Ugba is now on P9.
Oakbar. This race is just going completely down the pan, isn't it, for him? It's really not gone the way that he would have been envisaging it to have gone in the early part of this race. It's kind of just petering out a little bit now for the Flying Dutchman. I don't know whether or not Donington's a track that he sails around or enjoys, but it certainly hasn't gone his way tonight, as he's running just ahead of a leader here, who I believe is Valeside. So the race leader Valeside putting a lap there on Oakbar. Flash the lights there from Valeside. Oakbar returns the gesture as he says, "Thank you very much for letting me through." Just there. But Maze Gamer starting the 20th lap here. He's 9 seconds behind Valeside. So Valeside continuing to pull out that gap to Maze. It looks like Valeside very much in control of this race. Emo Guy starting to fall off the back of Maze a little bit. Maze is now lapping consistently quicker than Emo Guy, and looks like he should be okay for that second place, barring any incidents in the last few laps. That's Daryl Exchanger coming out the last corner to start lap 20 of this race. 30 seconds off of the race leader Valeside. Miguelito continuing round 5 seconds behind Daryl at the moment. Looks like it's going to be as you are between those two, unless Daryl makes any kind of catastrophic errors in the final few laps of this race. Craig still running in 7th place. 7 seconds separating Craig and Glenn. No, not much going on right now in the later stages of this race.
All these guys are just trying to finish this race as fast as possible.
Everyone's just trundling along, doing their thing.
Both sides will have McLaren now. Oh, McLaren! Made a mistake, I think it's
Oh, careful.
And there is Zupa there.
And we're going to go side by side down the start finish straight. Ogbar's going to have that move done on McLaren. Is McLaren going to try and come back at him up towards Red Gates now? I think that he's going to be able to hold on to that one. Is Ogbar, and he's up into 8th place. Makes the most of it. Oh, he's all over the grass. And McLaren goes back around the outside of him, around Hollywoods, and he's shopping and changing between these two. But McLaren is back up into 8th place. Some great racing though between those two, completely clean and fair. And unfortunately for Ogbar, not able to keep on to that position which he gained coming out of the final corner.
Yeah, so made a lot of mistakes here, unfortunately. He was really struggling from start to finish. As we saw that he had pace in sprint race, he had pace here, but collisions, his own mistakes, and all of this.
Just a catalogue of errors, unfortunately, has gone against him, and it's dropped him back down. But he's coming back though, look at it, he's coming back up the inside of McLaren, coming into the foggy S's, goes a little bit late on the brakes, but he gets a stop. Great move there from Ogbar, just as we thought. He was down and out, and that was his battle for 8th place done. He has gone for an absolute worldie move up the inside, and he's up into 8th place there. Really nicely done
and
there.
Again, oh
no, he gets loose though. Oh, he gets too heavy onto the power out of Melbourne hairpin, and once again, once we thought Ogbar had the position done dusted again, he's gone and lost it, and he's tapped back down to 9th place as he gets out of the way.
I think he is struggling with controlling this Ginetta. I think he don't understand how to drive his car, and maybe because of this he makes so much mistakes. Okay, and he made another mistake here. So, yeah, I think he's really struggling with this car.
I wonder who he's trying to copy by driving a Ginetta in the GT3 league. I don't know if there's another guy who drives a Ginetta in the GT3 league. I don't know who it is, but
I thought that the Wall could pick this car because he's always picking these unusual cars, but he picked Cadillac.
Doesn't he?
I think he was driving on Cadillac there.
I drive the Ginetta GT3 on SimPlay's Pro Series.
Yeah.
It's a good GT3 car actually. It's planted around the corners, and I don't know, down the straights it's useless, completely awful. But it's very, very quick in the corners. You can actually get into 126s around Donington. If you nail a lap in the Ginetta, you can get 126s. But yeah, unfortunately, Ogbar's not really had the consistency in this race. He had the pace in the quali session. He was up in P3 in the sprint race, but unfortunately made a mistake at the end, dropping down to 6th. But it's just not really gone the way that I think he would have been dreaming it to have gone in the intermission in between sprint race and feature race. After being up there in the sprint race, it's kind of all gone to pot for the Flying Dutchman here in this. I'm just noticing there, Sergey, Miguelito's been 3 seconds of Darrell in the fight for 4th. So
yeah, that may be a battle there. Yeah, and we see that Miguelito is really fast. He's even faster than Whaleside in this point in time, so maybe he will try to be as near as possible to Darrell. Let's watch on board here. Yeah, it's a big gap between them now, but maybe less and less. Yeah, you see that he made a good lap, about half a second faster than Darrell. They both have got 1 second time penalty. As we see, again, top 5 has got penalties only, and maybe we can see the battle for 4th place, but as we see, it's 23rd lap out of 25, and maybe Miguelito will be near Darrell, but he won't overtake him, I think. But Darrell maybe will make a mistake, or maybe will struggle with his tires, who knows, or maybe he won't have enough fuel to finish. All may happen here in sim racing, so let's watch. It's still 2 laps left for these guys.
Yes, indeed. Yep, still a little way left to go here in this one. One man who's been controlling the race in this one tonight is Whaleside. He took the win in the sprint race, and it's looking very much like he's going to make it 2 from 2 for the start of the season. This start of the sprint race did not go to plan at all for Valeside. It seemed like everything was going against him, but he got himself composed into a groove, and since then has just been banging in the lap times, putting in some great lap times, and he's got an 11-second lead at the front and should be able to bring this one home, still only lapping a 10th off his fastest sector time in the first sector. So he's not let off one bit. He is pushing this thing all the way until the flag, by the looks of it, continuing to go for fastest laps. Got a 3-second penalty, but it's not going to affect him anyway. It shouldn't be shouldn't hold him back too much, I wouldn't imagine, once we get to the finish. But we got Valeside leading by 11 seconds over Maze. Maze has got 7 seconds back to EmoGuy and should be able to hold on to second place unless he makes any mistake in this race. But Valeside has been one who's been really controlling this race since the beginning and should be able to bring it around. He's going to have one more lap after this one. We're on lap 24, going on to lap 25. That's right on board with our race leader as he's coming out of Goddard's, out onto the start-finish straight. Let's see if he fully goes for it and sends it around this Donington circuit on the last lap. I wonder if he's going to be going for fastest lap on the final lap. Comes into red gates, take as wide entry as you can, cross the pit exit on a little bit, clip that curve on the inside. You don't want to clip those curves on the exit too much because they can definitely send you off. It can be very tricky, send you flying into orbit, up, down Hollywoods and towards the Craner curves. Clip that curve a little bit on the left. You want to be as wide on the entry to this right-hand section as you possibly can, and you can take as much speed on the exit, avoid running over the artificial dirt on the exit, and then up the hill, up towards this middle section of the track. And again, you want to be clipping those curves, but you don't want to be running too much over those exit curves because they can really shoot you off. Up into Coppice, it's a blind entry. You want to clip the curve, aim to take as tight a line as you can on the entry, and then maximise the speed on the exit. Once again, staying off that curve. Flick the car right for the foggy S's. I'm going to brake at the second marker. There it is. Get the car slowed down nicely for the chicane section. Clip the curves. Whenever the car's too much, you'll get a penalty for that one. And he's 4/10 down on his personal best. It's on his final lap of the race into Melbourne. Brake midway between the two markers. Again, you want to take plenty of curve through this part, but stay off the curve on the exit. He's nailed that beautifully through Melbourne and into Goddard's for the final time. The Valeside is going to take 2 from 2 here in the opening round of the GT3s here at MotorRacing. Had a stellar end to last season, and he's going to pick up brilliantly here. Maximum points for Valeside. Flash the lights there as he takes the checker flag here for the feature race at Donington Park. Gamer is coming in towards Goddard's for the final time here. He's going to take a second place. A flash the lights, he's pretty chuffed with that. It's some great points there for him. EmoGuy, a podium finish in the Nissan GTR. Here he comes out onto the start finish straight. Great to see EmoGuy putting in a hell of a performance tonight. Flashing the lights from him on the podium for this race. Barrel Exchanger is coming in towards the final corner now. 27 seconds off of the leader, Valeside. But again, not too bad in the grand scheme of things. Promoted last season from Tier 2, came second in the championship, took more wins than any other driver in Tier 2 last season, into over the line. Miguelito finishes in 5th place, a good result there for him. JM Grill is coming in towards the foggy S's right about now. So in 6th place, he's just put a lap there on Boostyn. But JM Grill, Tier 2 champion last season, not a bad inception for him this season, Sergey, with Tier 1.
Yeah, not bad start for him. He was struggling in the sprint race, but in the feature race he's shown that he has some pace. Not enough to be in top 5 now, but he's on the 6th place and it's not so bad for him.
Yeah, it's done really well here is JM Gruhl. And that's it then. That's the last driver on the lead lap. Everybody else a lap or at least a lap down. Craig, Ogbar, McGlenn, Boostyn all classified. DJ Phil unfortunately had to put a food shopping away. He got a shopping delivery come in, so he had to put that away at the start of the race. Wasn't able to take the start. Also, Fun Stopper couldn't ready up. McGlenn says in the comments, good racing there. Was a battle of who could spin the least in the end for me and Ogbar. Well, it looks like Ogbar came out on top in that battle for 8th place. Well done to Ogbar on that one. Congratulations to Valeside, Mace Gamer and EmoGuy on the podiums. Sergey, got to ask you the $1 million question. Driver of the day for yourself?
Valeside. I think he made an absolutely phenomenal job here, 2 wins. But I will say that Guy made a good job in the feature race, and if he had a good finish in the sprint race, maybe he will be a driver of the day. But in this case, well side.
Speaking of Emo Guy, we've actually got him in the commentary box. He's jumped into the interview waiting list, and we've got him alongside us right now. Ian, we saw you leading the race briefly in the pit stop phases, and I don't know if you listened to the stream in the background, but I was urging you to come in as soon as possible. We saw Vale's side had some pretty extreme pace out there, and you pulled the trigger, but unfortunately it was a little bit too late. You came out behind Vale's side Maze, and you actually had to get ahead of Miguelito as well. But just summarise how that feels for you, managing to get up onto the podium spots and doing a really, really solid job tonight in that GTR. Ian, come in.
Yeah.
Here he is. We got him. Did you hear any of that?
What?
Did you hear any of that long question that I asked you?
I wasn't even here. I actually had to go quickly help my stepdad with something. Sorry. Right, say it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, hello Ian.
Just tell us how that feels. How does it feel finishing on the podium tonight?
It feels really good, so it does, especially with how the GTR normally is, wanting to pretty much kill anyone that gets into it. It just felt really good to be able to prove that this car is handled, it's able to be handled, and driven to the extent that brings up good results. Yeah,
you certainly did get in a good result tonight, and we know that you're a solid driver in that GTR. A couple of seasons ago, you actually took a couple of wins. I remember notably at Circuit of the Americas, you took a win. I think it was in the sprint race back into the season, back in the rain. Yes, yeah. So it's a car that you're pretty familiar with. When the going gets tricky, I think we can definitely bank on you being there or thereabouts. We've also got Funstopper in the commentary booth as well. Funstopper, so we just unmute you, mate. Oh, you should be on. We saw you unable to take the start actually for the feature race. Just tell us what happened there, mate.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out everything going on with the pit stops and just kind of struggling to get everything ready. And then the second I knew for sure, I didn't have enough time to ready up for the feature race, but the sprint race was really, really good. Just kept getting spammed by another group chat for qualifying, so I ended up 8th and just kind of held back in the first corner and just watched everything happen and picked my way through and somehow got on the podium, which was very surprising. And
yeah, I was going to say, Sergey and I were really impressed to see you manage to get onto the podium at the end of the race. It seemed like you just kept yourself out of trouble, kept your nose clean the whole race, and reaped the rewards, essentially. It's a shame that you weren't able to take part in the feature race. It would have been good to see you put in another solid performance in that one. But your first race in Tier 1, are you pleasantly surprised at the podium, or was that what you've been working towards? Was that what you were expecting coming into the opening race?
It was what I was aiming for, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. But yeah, but thank you. Thanks for that.
Yeah, great job. Yeah, great racing tonight. Unlucky with the feature race there, bud. We've also got Boostyn in the commentators booth as well. Welcome, Boostyn. We saw you in the end in the feature race. It wasn't the best of races. We saw in the sprint race though, the opening couple of laps, you had a flyer. You were up into 5th from the back of the grid in the sprint race. Just tell us what happened after that, because you seemed to make a flying start, and then after that it kind of all went downhill.
Yeah, I wasn't. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we got you, mate.
Yeah. I wasn't too prepared for this weekend. I've been focusing more on the ACC PC event tomorrow, so kind of just went in this for fun. Not too many expectations. Car wasn't set up, was running a default setup, and kind of qualified in the back on purpose. Wanted to just let people crash out in lap 1 and take advantage of those spots and slowly climb my way up. And I had a few consistent laps at the start, and started to drop down after a while, but had a good time, and it was a fun race.
Yeah, it's good to see. We saw you just sort of picking everybody off at the start of the sprint race, and it was exciting to watch. I suppose experience in this tier can count for a lot in the early stages of the season, and everybody else seemed to be getting involved in incidents. So it was cool to see you up there in the early stages. But yeah, some decent points obviously for you tonight.
Yep.
I'm sure the aim is to be up there fighting for sort of some good points, top 10s in most of these races, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think one of my goals this season is to stay in the top 10, and maybe if I can get a podium, fingers crossed, that would be fun too. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and had a fun weekend. Looking forward to the next.
Good to see. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, mate.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, watching on the... Cheers for that, buddy. Sure, buddy. Thanks, everyone, watching on the YouTube stream. To all of the guys who jumped in the commentary booths, thanks once again. And Sergey, any final words you want to say before we call it a night for the GT3s tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Andy, for this evening. It was a great racing. It was very good to commentate these races, these 3 races. Drivers have shown us that they really want to race here in Project Cars 2, and hope to see even more battles coming up in the next weekends. And I can say now just stay up, and there will be a race in Formula Rookies. Don't go anywhere. And there will be, I think, great battles too. And have a good night, have a good evening.
Yep, keep your eyes and ears peeled, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back on for the Formula Rookies very shortly. Have a great evening, and we'll see you later.